Friday Night Lights. Here's Sports Director Josh Copley.
Good afternoon, football fans, and it is time for the 2025-2026 high school football season to get underway here in just a matter of minutes. And oh, how long I have waited to say those words. The last time we were with you here on WNKX was for the basketball season last year. It was such a wonderful time. We thank you so much for the unyielding and unwavering support you gave the station throughout that time, and we are looking to make this year so much better. Once again, we welcome you to WNKX Live. I'm Josh Copley, and tonight we are live from Kingston Springs here at Harpath High School, where the Harpath Indians are hosting your Hickman County Bulldogs. And folks, we are also very pleased to announce that tonight we will continue our partnership with Hickman County High School and the AV class led by Matthew Dotson. Our cameraman for tonight is student Judd Rochelle, and a very special announcement as well. My color commentator for the evening will be none other than sophomore Aiden Weber. Aiden, welcome to the broadcast.
Hey Josh, just thinking about Hickman County football, the guys at school have really been locked in, as you could say. They are not here to play for fun or anything like that, to play games, but they are serious. It is such an exciting time in Hickman County, and we just can't wait to get this season started.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Aiden. Of course, there has undoubtedly been a buzz in the air anytime a big season comes up, and this has been a season that has a lot of uncertainty surrounding it. Of course, we know several months ago, Hickman County originally hired Mark Hastings out of Alabama, who had a lot of success coaching down south, and a lot of people were excited to have him on board. But, of course, a few months later, as circumstance would have it, he unfortunately left Hickman County for personal reasons, and they had to go on the hunt for another one, and thus enters in Pat Smith. Now, Aiden, what are your thoughts on Coach Smith so far? Of course, you're around him a lot more as a student.
Yes, Josh, one thing Coach Smith is very big about this year is the linemen. If you go on our student Hickman County YouTube channel, Coach Smith did have an interview, and he said the linemen is something big for us this season. We have a lot of big guys, and they will definitely carry and surround our team this year. So that's something to look for in this game.
Absolutely, Aiden, and I had an opportunity to catch up with Coach Smith last week, just the night before the Jamboree took place, which actually went really well for Hickman County on Friday, which was hosted at Fairview. And looking back to some of the things we discussed, I wanted to know a little bit more about Coach Smith, what he was about, where he comes from. And I think what a lot of people know that know Coach Smith is his extensive time in the military. He is a former Army man, and he said what he learned most from being in the military was the attention to detail. He said that is what he adopted most from that time and learning how to be a leader. Now, what he told me was he doesn't have a lot of experience being a head football coach, and that might make a lot of people apprehensive. It might make a lot of people skeptical about what Coach Smith can bring to the table. But knowing that military background, I think he will be able to lead these young men and discipline them in a way that they need to go.
Yes, I've heard that practices are intense, and they are ready for the best competition. They are ready to play hard and have fun, and they're ready for a successful season.
Well, and you mentioned the competition starts tonight, and I don't think there's any better way to start than on the road against one of your rivals. Now, this has been a rivalry between Hickman County and Harpath. I feel like it's really intensified over the last few years. We saw last year when we hosted the district tournament, we saw some tempers flare when these two teams faced off on the court. And we know football, very physical sport, and I imagine we might see some emotions run high here tonight as well. Of course, a lot to be thinking about right now with the beginning of the season, and I think that'll just add some fuel to the fire, Aiden.
Yes, can't wait for some Hickman County football this evening, and can't wait for y'all to join us on this season ride.
Now, I do want to go back, Aiden, and talk about what you said earlier about Coach Smith and his emphasis on the line. And, of course, that goes defensively and offensively, but I want to think about the offensive perspective for just a few moments. And I think where that emphasis on the line comes from is the offense they like to run. When I talked to Coach Smith last week, he said the wing T formation will be implemented a lot. It will be their primary means of attack. It will be dominant. And for those of you that don't know what the wing T is, it's a formation that utilizes the run essentially every play. Now, we know junior Andy Kraft, he is returning as quarterback this season. Now, last year was his first time playing quarterback at a high school level, and I thought he stepped up. He did a pretty good job, all things considered. Now, if you ask Andy, I think he would want to be a little bit better. He's a competitor. He's striving to take that next step, and I think that's what he's going to be doing this year. With that wing T, with the run-heavy offense, he said a lot of guys are going to be rotated in and out in the backfield trying to run the ball, whether it be a multitude of running backs or maybe Andy himself taking the rock. And Aiden, I'm sure you know Andy better than I do. That young man, he's a competitor at heart.
Oh, yeah, Josh. Andy is more developed than he was last year, and I think he will do great this season. And the big thing with Coach Smith is running, gunning, and having fun, man. So they're going to be playing hard 24/7. I don't think we will see them not playing hard. So that's what you can expect here tonight.
And, you know, we talk about the leadership of Coach Smith, but I think we also need to talk about the leadership of the players. I think that is just as important, if not more important sometimes, to be able to look at your peers, look at those juniors, those seniors, as guys that are leading by example, those guys that are first in, last out, the guys that are setting examples for those freshmen and sophomores that are trying to make their way on this team. And I want to think about the three senior captains they have this year, that being John Michael Lewis, Ruger Toddy, and Jaden Street. These are three exceptional young men, not just on the field, but off of it as well. I know, for one, John Michael Lewis, he was a huge help to us at WNKX during the basketball season. He was one of our main cameramen, as well as being one of our lead producers for every broadcast that we ran, and we know he is awesome, as well as those other two that we named as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys step up into that leadership role as seniors this year.
Yes, just like you said, they ain't just leaders in football, but also out of the game as well. You can see it in the school building, walking in the hallways. They're making the right choices, and that's what we really need to look for in leaders.
And folks, there will be a playing of the national anthem. We will give you time to find this broadcast, as kickoff will be here in just a few minutes. We'll be right back on WNKX. The national anthem for tonight was performed by Harpath Band, and they did such a wonderful job. We thank them for what they did for us here just a few moments ago. And folks, it's about that time. We're about 5 minutes away from kickoff, and I am so excited. We thank you for joining us here, whether it be on YouTube, Facebook, and we are also live on the radio here tonight. So if you're on a nightly stroll, we appreciate you tuning in with us on WNKX Live. And for a few moments, we covered Coach Smith, some of his tendencies, his background, where he's from. We know that Hickman County is working with a first-year head coach. But looking over to the Harpath side, they are also working with a first-year head coach as well. Coach Charles Morstead has stepped up and filled the void left. But we know Coach Moorhead, he came from the middle school. So we're looking to see how Harpath adjusts to that as well. So a battle of new coaches here, Aiden, and I think it'll be settled here in just a few moments.
Yes, Hickman is definitely a rival of Harpath, but just with the first-year coaching, I mean, what can you expect, you know? I mean, two teams, first game, and just can't wait to watch and see what unfolds.
And, you know, going along with what you said, Aiden, something that Coach Smith told me, he said, you know, you can study film, you can look at the tendencies of other teams, and that is always a good thing to understand your opponent. But he also said it's important to pay attention to what we do. He said if we get too caught up in what other teams are doing, then how can we ever get better? So, and that's something that I really enjoyed hearing from Coach Smith, his emphasis on accountability, on reflection, looking at his guys to step up and not relying on other teams to make mistakes, but rather on his own guys to make plays. And the team that Coach Smith is working with this year, he described them as being a very athletic team this year. And something we saw, Aiden, on the field as they were warming up, it felt like they had a 53-man roster out there. It looked like a college team out there warming up. I've never seen so many Hickman County Bulldogs on a football field at one time, and that is such a wonderful thing to have guys ready to play. And it also shows that students have some trust in Coach Smith if they're lining up to play for him. And I think the players are starting to buy in. We've seen they've had some success in the preseason with their scrimmages, like we said earlier, with the jamboree that took place. I think this could be a completely rejuvenated Hickman County team compared to what we've seen in years past. Of course, last year they had plenty of struggles. They were only able to scrape out a few wins on the season, but this year I think Hickman County, the coaching staff, they're shooting for the stars this year, and it all starts up front with their defense. And Coach Smith said he loves the depth that he has on the defensive side, especially on the defensive line. But he did say something that they are trying to work with is their lack of depth on the offensive line, specifically the offensive guard. And the offensive guard is used pretty much every play with the wing T formation. There's a lot of emphasis put on them. If the offensive guard struggles, then the run game struggles as well. See, offensive linemen are probably the most unsung heroes when it comes to the game of football. They get almost none of the glory, but it seems like they get all of the blame when either a quarterback gets sacked or a running back gets a carry for a loss. So I'm looking at the big men up front to make the plays they need to tonight to open the lanes for Hickman County and hopefully start off with a win here tonight in game one of the season.
Yes, and one thing that Coach Smith, just with what you were adding to, is that we don't want Harpath to control the game. We want us to control the game. We want to make plays. And I think Hickman County as a community has revolved around that. I mean, we have many people in the stands cheering on our football team. So it will be a sight to see tonight.
Well, and to that point, we look across from where we're sitting in this Harpath press box, and we're so thankful that they gave us a spot up here to bring you this game, this live coverage on the radio and on live stream. But we look across the Hickman County section. There's a lot of red over there, Aiden. It's about a 50-minute drive from Hickman County. But as you said, our fans are passionate. They're here to support these guys and to give them that motivation they need from the stands. And folks, we are just about ready to get things underway. Harpath will be kicking off to your Hickman County Bulldogs to start things off this evening. And once again, I want to remind everyone that we do have a student-led production team here tonight. Judd Rochelle is on camera, and sophomore Aiden Weber is joining me on commentary, his first time ever, and we're so excited to have these students be involved. We're so blessed to be able to partner with Hickman County High School as the radio station. What a joy that has been, and it's only up from here, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go. The wait is finally over. The 2025-2026 season is underway as the kick is away. Fielded inside the 20, to the 25, to the 30, down the sideline 35, and he is wrapped up and taken down at the 36. So pretty good starting field position for the Hickman County Bulldogs.
Yes, good run there. Let's see if we can get this offense moving.
Of course, in football, sometimes it can feel like a tug of war, a back and forth. It's all about field position, and it all starts with the special teams. You don't see them on the field all that often, only for kickoffs, punt returns, things of the like, but they can make such a big difference on a football game. And here we are, the junior, number 9, Andy Kraft, will be taking snaps here tonight. They're running the wing T, a lot of men in motion. Snap. Gives right. Darts up a lane and gets about 5 yards on the carry. So, Aiden, that's what you like to see from Hickman County here early, moving downhill, moving forward, not backwards.
Yes, Josh, moving forward is very important. Every play counts, and that's what these men know.
So 2nd down and 5 for the Dogs. Again, that wing T spreading out now wide. Snap. Again, they'll give it. Bouncing left. Breaks a tackle. It's a 1st down and more. He'll be taken down into Harpath territory. 1st down for the Bulldogs.
Great run there to get some yards in and closer to the touchdown line. I think that was Taylor Hutchison there on the run.
Of course, Hutchison known for his basketball prowess, but he decided to give football a try this year, and that kid is quite the athlete. So we're looking forward to seeing what he has. But as we know, the Coach Smith's offense, anybody can get the ball on any given down. Toss. Hutchison goes left again. Has a few. It's about 3.5 before he's wrapped up and taken out of bounds down to the 44-yard line. So every play for Hickman County thus far has kept them moving forward. That was their 3rd carry on the day, which was their shortest, but still goes for about 3. So again, Kraft under center, a lot of men in the backfield. Snap. Play action, looks to throw, lets it fly, has a man, caught! Taylor Hutchison for a touchdown. Andy Kraft, 44-yard completion.
That right there, Josh, was a great sequence of events. Hickman County is up right now and just moving forward from here.
And as you mentioned, Aiden, that sequence of events that we just saw from Hickman County, 3 straight run plays, it didn't look like Hickman was even considering one time to throw the ball. But as we know, in the game of football, the run game opens up the passing game. And we see it right there. Andy hits his man, and the PAT is up, and it is good.
And just as we have seen, maybe this game will be Taylor Hutchison's game. So far, he has been the answer to Hickman County.
And with Hutchison, too, I mean, he just ran the ball 2 plays prior. I mean, you would think he'd be worn out, but he was still able to burn the Harpath secondary right there. Seems like he is all gas and no brakes thus far, and if Hickman County can keep that up, the momentum will stay on their side. But Harpath now looking to answer back. And thinking about what we saw from warm-ups, Aiden, we watched Andy take some of his practice reps. It seemed like he wasn't quite as on point as he would have liked to be. There was a lot of overthrows, a lot of throws behind his receivers, but he steps in here to a live game scenario. First throw he makes of the game, and it's right on the money.
Yes, you would always like your practice to be perfect, but really it's when you get in the game, and what Andy showed there is that he knows when he gets in the game, that's what matters most.
And we also saw Aiden, first-time football player, Parker Lambert, kicking the PAT. And we have heard he has had quite the showing in practices, quite a strong leg he has. Of course, that soccer background helps him greatly in that. And the kick is away to the Indians. Fielded at the 20, has some room down the sideline, still on his feet until he is shoved out of bounds. And some late contact there draws the ire of the Indian sideline, but no flags on the field. Harpath will come out 1st and 10. Waiting to see the official spot.
Let's see, Josh, now what Hickman County's defense can bring to Harpath's offense.
And something you love to see, Aiden, about the offensive series we just saw from Hickman County, starting the game hot, it's not just the offense that feels that. The defense also feels that momentum boost as well, because now you immediately have the opposing team's offense playing from behind the 8 ball.
Harpath starts their first offensive drive on the 34.
So there was a flag on the field. It was a holding call against Harpath, so that'll back them up inside their 20. So No, it'll be at the 22-yard line, as a matter of fact. My mistake, and it looked like a very promising return, but early penalties hurt the Indians. So 1st and 10, and who I'm looking at on this Harpath roster, I'm looking at number 3, Jaden Stromat, the senior quarterback, who also plays linebacker. And we know his defensive split, as well as his offense, it sort of mirrors that of Andy Kraft. We know Andy, he spends a lot of his time playing defense. He prides himself as a defensive specialist, but he can also be a very proficient quarterback when the moment calls, and I think Stromat will do the same. Snap, first play, give up the middle, breaks off a tackle, but then a couple of dogs there to meet him. The ball was carried by number 8, Hudson Ely, the junior running back for Harpath.
Great job right there by Hickman County, watching and waiting for him to run. Great play there by Hickman County.
So the Indians start off trying to build some momentum back of their own. They net about 5 or 6 on the first down carry. So we have Stromat in the gun. Snap, play action, rolls right, looks like a keeper. Tries to get back to the line to gain, but he's met by a pack of dogs in the backfield. So Harpath trying to get creative, but Hickman County ready to snuff it out.
As you said earlier, Josh, the energy that came from offense translating to defense, so far we can see that in the defensive team of Hickman County.
And now, as a defense, if you force these teams into 3rd and long situations, you sort of back them into a corner, because now you can anticipate the pass, be ready for it, make sure your safeties, your cornerbacks are ready, and keep them in front of the line to gain. So Stromat is in the gun. To his left is Ely. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Snap. It's a little bit of trickery. Goes back. Stromat, he's going to keep it, but he's met quickly, wrapped up, and taken down. And that'll bring up a 4th down, a 3 and out for Harpath. So out trots the special teams unit. And how about this Bulldog defense early, Aiden? They are feeding off that offensive momentum that Kraft and the rest of the boys gave them.
Oh, yeah, Josh. I mean, for a second there, it came a little scary, but they recovered well and got the tackle.
So a 4th down and about 14 yards. Here's the punt, snap. And it's away, a low line drive kick. Rolls in the Bulldog territory. Kraft just watches it roll down to the 36. So Hickman County will take over 1st and 10 as they try to add on to this early lead. So 8 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in this first quarter.
Let's see if this high momentum mountain will keep going here as the Bulldogs take it on offense.
So the official spot will be the 37-yard line for this 1st and 10. Kraft under center yet again. Now his men break off. 1 receiver wide left. And a lot of motion up front. Let's see who they get. It looks like it's on the Bulldogs. And yes, it will be a false start against Hickman County. That'll back them up 5 yards for a 1st down and 15. And Aiden, that's one of the risks you take when you run an offense like they do, where there's a lot of motion. You run the risk of causing your guys up front to jump. They get a little jittery, and that happened right there. They're only their first penalty of the game thus far, so hopefully they're able to keep it under control. So Kraft snaps, gives left, has a hole, lowers the shoulder and plows down past the 40, just shy of the 45. They'll spot him at the 43.
Great run by Hickman County. I mean, we got a little setback, but we did gain momentum here. Let's see what they come out now.
Well, and Aiden, they got that yardage back and then some. Over a 10-yard gain sets up a 2nd down and 4 for Hickman County. Kraft motions his guys out again under center. Motions Hutchison left to right. Jet sweep. Hutchison around the left. Has a 1st down. Cuts back inside. Still on his feet. And gets to about the 45. Down into Harpath territory. So there goes that man again, Mr. Weber.
Yes, Hutchison has been great so far this game. Let's see if he can keep with this momentum going forward. He so far has been the answer to Hickman County.
Now, I think what's so great about Hickman County having this depth that we touched on earlier, that if Hutchison ever finds himself getting tired, you've got 4 or 5 more guys you can hand the ball off to. But Hutchison still in the huddle that we can see up here. And you can never ride him off getting the ball back-to-back or even 3 times in a row as we've seen in the past. Kraft snaps, gives. This time they go to the right, but Harpath was ready as he surges back ahead and gets just back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10 upcoming for the Dogs at the 45 of Harpath.
That was good right there by Harpath, but let's see what the Dogs will have in store for us on this next play. Hopefully they can get some yardage, but we will see.
So the Dogs with some substitutions here. That was Armstrong there on the last carry. Kraft motions Hutchison right to left, snaps. Kraft with the keeper, follows his blocks, has some room, 1st down the sideline. Kraft tripped up and taken down inside the 20.
That was such a good run there by Kraft. He did such a great job getting some yardage there. If he didn't trip, he could have went to the end zone, but let's see what Hickman County has in store this next play.
And it looks like his foot actually stepped out before he was tripped up, so they'll bring it back to about the 26-yard line.
Ball on the 26. 1st down.
And Kraft is such a great patient runner there, following his blockers, letting that play develop, not putting the cart before the horse, so to speak. Motions left to right. Fake pitch. Hands up the middle. Not a whole lot on the play, but still moving forward are the Bulldogs.
Hickman keeps it on the ground for a few yards.
Get about 3 yards on the play to set up a 2nd down and 7, maybe a 2nd and 8 for Hickman County. The clock winds down to about 6 minutes to play in this 1st quarter. Once again, we thank you all for joining us here on WNKX Live, whether you're tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, or whether you're listening in your car on the radio. We appreciate your support. So Kraft now, 2nd down. Snap. Gives again, up the middle. Has a bit of room, finds a hole, darts through it. Gets a substantial gain there. Close to the 1st down marker, but a few yards short. We about 3rd and 4 for the Dogs. So, Aiden, you got to think probably 4-down territory here if they don't get it. Harpath, a lot of their defenders already hands on hips, tired, winded, having to defend this high-octane Bulldog offense. So I think if you're Hickman County, see what you can get on this 3rd down to set up a 4th and manageable if you don't get it here. Snap. Kraft gives to Hutchison. Good blocking up front, and Hutchison has the 1st down and more. And Aiden, we talk so much about how Coach Smith put emphasis on the big boys up front. They are doing their job and then some here tonight.
Yes, tonight we have seen the ball has been ran majority of the time, and they have been able to get good looks because of those big guys up front doing all the blocking. So big shout out to them.
And Harpath having to call a timeout. It will be their 1st timeout of the half. And Aiden, if you're Hickman County, you love seeing that timeout because you can build almost a mental advantage against your opponent because Harpath, they feel like they have to call timeout just to get their wits about them. They need to get a breath of air, a drink of water because this offense is relentless. So a great start for Hickman County to this point. I don't think you could have drawn it up any better if you're Coach Pat Smith and his crew.
Oh, yeah, Hickman County's morale definitely has to be up right now. I mean, seeing the success in the offense and the defense and knowing that Harpath is tired right now, had to take a timeout, that is such good for the Hickman County Bulldogs, and we will see what they will have in store for us on this next play.
But, Aiden, I want to give credit where it's due to this Harpath team. They are a tough ball club out there on both sides of the ball. They held Columbia Academy to only 14 points in their preseason matchup. And as we know, Columbia Academy were state runner-ups. So this Harpath team will not go quietly. We're only in the first quarter, only a one-score game thus far. So if you're Coach Smith, you've got to tell your guys, pedal to the metal. We can't get comfortable. So the team's back on the field. 1st and 10. Snap. Kraft gives. Has a lane, breaks some tackles, but he's drugged down. Perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle. But he still gets about 4 yards on the play. So a 2nd down and 6 now for the Bulldogs. Snap. They're going to give up the middle to the big man, number 12. Takes it down for a pretty modest gain. And it'll be a 3rd down and short. They'll mark him about 2 yards shy of the sticks.
You know, Josh, that Hickman County knows they are so close right now, but anything could happen. And so we will see what they will bring in store for us on this next play. See if they get the touchdown.
Now, I really enjoy, Aiden, seeing them get the ball to their big guys as well. I mean, we saw number 12, Braden McCaleb, right there. Typically a tight end, a bigger body carrier, but he's a hard man to bring down. Snap, 3rd and short, gives. They want McCaleb again, plows forward into the end zone. Touchdown, Hickman County.
Great job there, Josh, by giving it to one of the big guys, Braden McCaleb. He is just a force on the football field, and it's just great watching him play.
Well, and that shows the differing dynamics that this Hickman County offense can bring. I mean, you have to watch over the top because guys like Taylor Hutchison can blow past you with his speed. But you also have to watch the edges because they have a lot of fast runners. You have Kraft, you have Hutchison that can get around the edges and break it for long carries. But then you also have to watch up the middle because you have big bruisers like Braden McCaleb that can take it right up the gut, break some tackles, dart forward for touchdowns like we just saw right there. And Hickman County, after the Parker Lambert PAT, now leads the Indians 14-0 as the first quarter continues to wind to a close. Just under 3.5 minutes to go. Still plenty of football left, but these Bulldogs are red hot.
And just like we said earlier, Josh, where Parker Lambert, it's his first year playing football. He is our kicker. So far, he's done a great job this game.
Well, and we see him on the kickoff team as well. I mean, he puts the ball deep. He puts the pressure on their returner. There are no short kicks when it comes to Parker Lambert. Now, we all know the announcer's curse. Now that I said that, hopefully we don't see a miss kick here from Mr. Lambert. But to your point, he has been stellar thus far. And I think that's something we see pretty often, though, Aiden. We see guys that spend their lives playing soccer, and they make that transition to football kicker so smoothly. And we see some big legs from these soccer players, and I think it's a trope we'll continue to see as the game continues to evolve. So here we go. The ball is set. The whistle has blown. And Lambert boots it away to Harpath, and that is a bullet of a kick. Fielded at the 10. Has some trouble with it, but regathers. Now has some room. Tries to spin inside, but a nice tackle by number 4, John Michael Lewis, one of the senior captains on this Bulldog team. And I do want to give a word of praise to John Michael. We haven't seen him much offensively yet. We know he's predominantly a tight end, but whenever that motion takes place, when Hickman County runs their offense, he is always one of the big guys up front that they rely on to block. So he does his job super well. We saw him hustle down the field, a bigger guy with a lot of speed, big open field tackle right there to prevent the return from going any further. And we also see him show back up on defense as well. And a lot of these guys on this Hickman County team are so athletic. You can put them anywhere on the field and they're going to make a play. So it's Stromat in the gun. Motions his receiver left to right. Snap. Give. Met quickly, and he's taken down, going nowhere but backwards.
Great job right there, Josh, by number 1 who got the tackle.
And that was Austin Blystead there on the tackle. So explosive to get into the Harpath backfield. They'll lose a couple. 2nd down and 12 for the Indians. And I think as this Hickman County rush continues to put pressure on the run game, I think you're forcing Stromat to air the ball out. And now Ely snaps, rolls left. He's coming, and he's sacked. What a play. This Hickman County defense swarming Stromat in the backfield. It looked like a design quarterback pass there, a bootleg to the left. They motioned his running back out of the backfield to the left, but it was well covered by Hickman County, and the pass rush got there.
If you're Harpath, you've got to be worrying right now. I mean, it seems like they haven't been able to do anything on offense. They have to have a plan for this Hickman County defense.
But what Hickman County has done again has set up a 3rd down and long, and it's forcing Harpath again to more than likely air the ball out unless they're playing the field position game. Just keep it on the ground, see what you can get, and then punt it away. So 1 receiver wide left for Harpath, 3 to the right. Stromat in the gun. And it looked like some movement up front. Hickman County thinks they got Harpath to go a little early for a false start, but let's see what the officials have to say. Waiting for the official decision.
Flag on the play.
And they will get a neutral zone infraction called on the Bulldogs. So, initially was about a 3rd and 20 for Harpath, make it now a 3rd and 15. So still a long way for Harpath to go.
Still 3rd down, 15 to go.
So again, 3 receivers to the right for Harpath, 1 to the left, Stromat in the gun. Ely to his right. Harpath looking to the sideline, making sure they have the play they want to run. Now players get set, and still a lot of communication between Harpath and the sideline, and a timeout is called by the Indians, their 2nd of the half. And Aiden, right there, we saw the frustration from head coach Charles Moorhead. I mean, it looked like he was trying so hard to communicate with his guys, but just a lot of chatter. A lot of the guys on that far right side of the field, their receivers, just weren't on the same page, and that tells me that Harpath a little bit rattled early in this game by the Hickman County onslaught.
Yes, Josh, you can tell they're rattled. You can tell they're confused. They don't know what to do. That's one thing that Coach Smith is good at, is letting his players know what to do at all times. And that's one thing you don't want in a game, is to be confused and take the wrong play.
Well, and that goes back to what you said earlier about how intense these practices are. I mean, Coach Smith is a great leader. He's great at disciplining these guys. So that way, whenever the time comes to play under the lights, you're ready to go. Now, a lot of players, if you ask them about practice, they'll probably tell you that they hate it. They don't like the running and the constant work and attention to detail. I mean, it can wear on your body, especially at a young age like these guys are. But when you get into a game and you lead 14-0 in the first quarter, I think it makes you forget all about that pain you suffered in practice.
Oh, yeah, and you can tell the benefit of it here in this game.
So here we go. Harpath now back out on the field. Snap. Stromat looks to throw, fires out right. Pass is complete, wrapped up and taken down, well shy of the 1st down, and that should force another Harpath punt.
Stromat complete. Short of
The pass from Stromat there was completed to Dallas Davenport, the junior receiver for the Indians, and out trots the special teams unit. Back deep to return for the Dogs is number 9, Andy Kraft. Snap. The kick is away. It's high. It's not too far, though. Rolls down, takes a very friendly bounce for Harpath, and it rolls down inside the 30-yard line. So this will be Hickman County's worst field position of the game, but if they rely on their game plan, I don't think they'll care all too much about where they start. It's all about where you finish, and that is the goal line.
Yes, and so far everything has went perfectly for Hickman County. Let's see how they do in the rest of this game and see if they can keep this positivity moving forward.
And as you said, mentality is such a big part of it. Of course, not getting lackadaisical, not letting the scoreboard get to your head. Just as you have to turn the scoreboard off when you're losing, arguably you do the same thing when you're winning. And the Dogs looking to keep the ball rolling. Expect to see a lot of the heavy motion plays. And yes, they're lined up again. that wing T. Now they split up and separate. Kraft. Snap. Rolls left. And he's going to keep it. Has some room on his feet. First down. And he's taken out of bounds. Close to the 40. But we heard some whistles. It looks like Hickman County making the walk backwards. Perhaps he stepped out of bounds a little too early. And that is what they'll say. They'll say second down and about 5 instead of the first down, but still positive yardage there for the Bulldogs. So you have just under 90 seconds to play in this first quarter. Snap. Ball's on the ground, and that's a first down for Hickman County.
As we said, I mean, a lot of time the mentality is better than the physical. I mean, everything has went great. We just got a first down, and let's see if they can gain some more in this next play.
Well, and Aiden, they're always moving forward, it seems like. The amount of negative plays Harpath has forced have been very few and far between. And Hickman County, if they keep Harpath on their heels, it wears out that defense. But also, if you look at the flip side of that, Hickman County on defense, forcing 3 and outs, forcing a lot of negative plays, they're forcing that Harpath defense to be on the field a lot. So Kraft under center after the moving of the chains. Hutchison around the left on the sweep. Down the sideline, first down and more. Cuts back inside. Down into Harpath territory at the 45. But a flag is called, and it will be a holding call. You know what they say, death, taxes, and holding calls on big runs. Never fails. So really, one of the few miscues we've seen from Hickman County thus far. We had the false start call earlier, and now the holding penalty. If you're Coach Smith, you want to keep these flags under control because down the road they can certainly come back to bite you. Now they haven't so far, but you certainly don't want to get into a habit of committing too many penalties. So the officials will spot the ball around the 28-yard line, 1st and 20 for the Dogs. And a whistle blows. Another official stoppage, waiting to see what this is about.
Play clock not working. Play clock ain't working.
And we believe it might be an issue with the clock or maybe the spot of the ball. The official moved the ball up maybe a yard. So instead of the 28, they'll mark it at the 29. Still a 1st and 20 for the Dogs. Just a small little formality there to get sorted out. Motion. 2 go left, 1 goes right. Snap. Give, up the middle. Nice cut, still on his feet, and a big hit. Takes down Armstrong after a gain of 4.
Great job there by Armstrong just to get a little bit of yardage here for the Bulldogs.
Well, and Aiden, in this Harpath team, there's some bruisers. That was a big hit on the defensive side, but of course Armstrong, very tough. And he hops right back up to his feet. And that brings us to the end of our first quarter. At the end of 1, your score, Hickman County 14, Harpath 0. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital. MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald Family. Heritage Bank and Trust and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
So with our first quarter in the books of the 2025 football season, we're about to get things underway in the second. And it's a first quarter that was dominated by the Bulldogs, but with 3 quarters still to play, Hickman County looking to keep pedal to metal and keep Harpath reeling. So the Dogs staying in the wing tee. 2 break off right, 1 goes wide left. Snap. Kraft keeps it, looks to throw, fires, caught. And he's just shy of the first down to about the 46-yard line.
Beautiful throw there by Kraft. I mean, it's great running the ball, but just seeing a pretty throw like that in the air is just something amazing and something that Kraft has a very good talent at.
Well, and that's something you can worry about with Kraft, too. You get in the habit of running the ball. You don't get a lot of reps throwing in a live game, but 2 times Kraft has thrown so far, he's put the ball on the money, and both times to Hutchison. Kraft snaps. They're going to keep it on the ground. And he's going to fight forward down to midfield, and that is another Hickman County first down.
Hickman advances the ball to midfield. First down.
And that was McCaleb on the carry. It seems like there's been a pattern here, Aiden. Whenever Hickman County wants to go inside, they rely on the bigger body. When they want to go outside on those sweep plays to go around the tackles, we see Hutchison utilized a lot more.
Yes, Josh, Hickman County is not looking to go backwards or to go to the side, but they're looking to go forward. They are looking to give it to the big guys and let them do what they're good at.
Certainly, that is the case on these short yard situations, but now a 1st and 10 from midfield. Kraft motions, tosses, Armstrong. What a quick acceleration. Jukes out right. He's down the sideline, and nobody's going to catch him. Braden Armstrong to the house. Give him 6, and Hickman County continues to add on.
That right there was beautiful by Armstrong, just seeing his quick acceleration on the run. I mean, that kid is such a talented young man, and that was just a great play by Armstrong.
I mean, Aiden, my word. It seemed like when he got that toss in the backfield, he surveyed the area, and once he saw a lane, he shot through it like a speeding bullet. That man can run. And out comes Lambert for the PAT.
Lambert so far has had 2 very successful kicks, field goals. Let's see if he can get another one here for the Dogs.
Snap, good. Hold, good. Kick is up, and the kick is blocked. And it's blown dead. So the first missed PAT from Parker Lambert, but give all the credit in the world to that Harpath special teams flying around the edge and knocking down the PAT. But your score still Hickman County 20, Harpath 0.
I'd like to announce a new tradition here at Harpath High School.
And Josh, if you're Hickman County, you cannot let that one mistake affect the rest of the game. You have to keep positivity high and get that defense rolling.
Yeah, absolutely, Aiden. And what we've seen so far, we have seen a couple of miscues from Hickman County. We've seen a false start. We've seen a hold. And now adding on that PAT, that's only really 3 big mistakes that I can think of right now. But a lot of those are going to happen, as is the nature of football. But so long as you're keeping your positives outweighing the negatives, I think Coach Smith will take that every single time. Although the goal is perfection. Keep working until you are the best version of yourself that you can be. And that's clearly what Hickman County has been doing to prep for this season. What a start these Bulldogs have had. So Lambert sets up shop, looks to kick it deep to the Indians.
Kick coming from Lambert.
And it's away, a low line drive, fielded at the 20. Has some blocks, but a big open field tackle takes them down at the 30, and these Dogs are all fired up.
Great sack there by Rain. I am pretty sure that was such a good sack by him. Let's get this defense rolling.
Harper kicks over at the 29.
I mean, that was such an impressive acceleration down the field, never giving up on the play. It looked like for a moment Harpath had plenty of blockers. But then it seemed like you blink, and out of stage left, here he comes. Hits him low, hits him hard. And Harpath will take over 1st and 10. 3 to the right, 1 receiver wide to the left. Stroman in the gun, Ely to his right. Snap. Looks to throw, drops back, pressure coming. It's a screen, and it's intercepted! Hickman County takes it the other way.
Pass by Stroman. Intercepted. First down. Hickman
That right there, Josh, was just a sight to see. It seems like Harpath's quarterback just gave Hickman County the ball.
Well, and right there, Aiden, what we saw, I mean, they were looking for a screen there, which usually is a good first down play. You bait the defensive line in, trying to get that pressure. But whenever he goes over the top, when that pressure got there, the defense did such a good job getting their hands up in the air, obstructing his vision, and all he could do was throw it in the general direction of where he thought his guy was, and Hickman County there to take it away. The ball out the middle. And the ball's on the ground. Both sides think they have it. And I believe it will stay with Hickman County, second down. So an anxious moment or two.
The ball stays with Hickman County. Second down.
So with it all said and done, still 4 yards for the Dogs. Second down and 6. Already inside the red zone. Just over 10 minutes to play in the second quarter. Kraft motions. It's a jet sweep. Gets around the edge. Harpath in hot pursuit, and they'll wrap him up just shy of the goal line. And that was some great hustle there by the Indians. It looked like a surefire touchdown. But he's wrapped up, taken down, but it will be a chain mover for the Dogs.
First to go.
And it will be a first down and goal for Hickman County. And the ball will be spotted at the 2-yard line.
Josh, you know Hickman County is pumped right now. They have had some great runs in this game so far. Let's see if they can get this touchdown on this play.
Snap. Give. Bounces outside. Breaks a couple of tackles. Hutchison is going to coast on into the end zone for yet another Hickman County touchdown.
Hutchinson all game right there has been the man for Hickman County. He has done a great, phenomenal job so far. But really this whole Hickman County team has done great so far. And let's hope that this positivity can keep going in the near future.
So Lambert had his PAT blocked last time. Looks to cap off this scoring drive with a successful one. That Hickman County front needs to do a better job here on this particular PAT of blocking those big guys of the Indians up front. The snap is good, the hold is good, the kick is up, and it is right down the middle. Lambert tacks on 1 to make your score Hickman County 27, Harpath 0.
Score Hickman County 27, Harpath 0.
And Aiden, this looks like a completely new Hickman County team. I mean, if you'd have asked some of these guys that were on the team a year ago if they would be up 27-0 in the first half of their first game of the season, they might have laughed at you. But these guys, they have put in the work in the offseason. They have made the most of having this new coach. Coach Smith has surrounded himself by a wonderful group of assistant coaches, and it seems like they're all welding together really, really well. And I know it's just the first game of the season. You don't want to get hopes too high, but football is all about momentum. And if you can carry one play to the next, you can carry one game to the next. And then you're starting to snowball success after success, but still a whole half of football to play here. You can't get too far ahead of yourself. Hickman County looking to keep the gas on, and Lambert out to kick it deep for the Dogs. And it's again a low line drive. It's a missile on the ground, fielded at the 20. Harpath has some blockers, but the lane closes quickly as they'll get it down just beyond the 30-yard line. That's where the Indians will take over, 1st and 10. They'll mark him down at the 34-yard line. But now, Aiden, we've mentioned it's only in the second quarter, but do you think, I mean, if you're Harpath, you've got to start to feel a sense of urgency start to creep in. Every drive from this point going forward matters, offensively and defensively, so you don't quite have to panic, but you got to get going.
Yes, Josh, you know Harpath is trying to get in that playbook and just see what they can do to get yards in, what their defense can do, but Harpath definitely is panicking a little bit.
Well, and we saw Harpath get into their playbook a little bit with some tricks on their last offense, or on 2 offensive drives ago. So maybe more of that now. And they'll try the fake, a broken tackle, but then he's met by a few more Bulldogs, and he may have gotten back just to the line of scrimmage. That was senior number 12, Jaden Rayleigh, there on the carry for Harpath. He got maybe half a yard. So Harpath now trying to mix things up a little bit offensively, faking the pitch to the right just to give it to the left. And if you're a fan of Harpath, you've got to appreciate them trying to mix it up a little bit, trying anything to see if it'll work. So Stromat in the gun, 2 receivers right. Snap, looks to throw, rolls right, steps up, throws across his body, and it's complete. What a throw by Jaden Stromat. Usually, if you're a coach, you always warn against your quarterback going against his body, but when your guy is as open as he was right there, why not take a chance? And it works out there for Harpath. First down Indians as they find themselves in Bulldog territory at the 48-yard line. So perhaps that play right there, Aiden, was the shot in the arm that Harpath needed.
Yeah, Harpath, great play right there by their quarterback. The Dogs really need to wake up here and see if they can get some downs.
So Harpath back to the line, snap, Stromat drops back, fires over the middle, in and out of the hands, incomplete, looking for number 5, Preston Merritt. And Aiden, what a pass like that does, what that pass does for a quarterback, the one we just saw a few moments ago, it helps build his confidence. Now, when you look at the scoreboard, you're down 4 scores. It's easy to hang your head, but whenever you're able to step back, take a look at your own talent and ability, you can start to wake up a little bit, find a bit more pep in your step. And that was a good throw right there, just unfortunate luck on his part, just falls in and out of the hands of his receiver. So 2nd down and 10 now for the Indians. Snap. Looks to throw again. Stromat. Pressure coming. Rolls right. He's going to tuck it. Oh, and he is lit up by number 4, John Michael Lewis, bringing the boom. And a flag is on the field, perhaps targeting. I mean, we certainly saw some helmet-to-helmet contact, it looked like. And yes, they will get John Michael Lewis for targeting. And that will be a first down for Harpath. And now, Aiden, those are those plays. I mean, if you're Hickman County, you love the hustle from John Michael, but you have to be a little bit more heads up. You have to understand the situation. You have the quarterback dead to rights. Just do a traditional wrap-up tackle. And now they're looking for a 3rd and long. Instead now, 1st and 10 as they continue to march towards the end zone. So luckily they're up 4 touchdowns, but you don't want to see that become a habit going forward. Snap, Stromat again looks to throw. Pressure coming, rolls right. And he just steps out of bounds. Great coverage downfield by the Bulldogs. And equally good pursuit by Hickman County's front. And he goes out of bounds, and he'll lose a couple. And Aiden, right there, if you're Coach Moorhead of Harpath, you're probably hoping that your guy just throws it away. I mean, you're out of the tackle box. You don't have to tuck it and run. You can toss it to the sideline and live to fight another down instead of losing 2 or 3 yards like we just saw there. But Stromat in the gun again. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Snap. Looks to pass again. Airs it out, has a man, and it's going, no! Oh. Hickman County had an interception right in the breadbasket, but he can't hold on. And Harpath lives to play another down. And Aiden, it looked like to me if he's able to corral that, there's no one there to stop him from taking that back for a pick 6.
Yes, Josh. Just like we said earlier, I mean, yes, physical we have to be there, but mentally we have to be there. We have to know what's going on. And right there, Aiden Spiegelmeyer showed where he is at on the football field.
But Spiegelmeyer is such an excellent defender. It feels like he's all over the place at all times. A great job just to be there to break up the pass. Unfortunate it couldn't go the other way. Stromat looks to throw again. Rolls left. Pumps, fires, has a man, and a nice catch. And they'll say he did make a football move. They'll rule the pass complete. The Hickman County sideline was begging for an incompletion there, but he took a couple of steps, and that'll be a Harpath first down.
Catch by Gage Scott results in a Harpath. First down, make that a move.
So some substitutions here for the Indians.
Harpath, Indians.
And again, Stromat remaining calm even when he's forced out of the pocket. I have to give that young man credit for his calm, cool head, especially after already throwing a pick in this game and almost a second one on this drive. That's what you have to do with the sport of football. You have to shake off previous mistakes and look forward to future successes. Stromat under center. And snap, and a whistle blows immediately, and out fly the flags.
Don't say that yet. I think it's delayed.
And they'll get a delay of game called against Harpath.
Delay a game on Harpath.
So when you're trying to claw back and make a comeback as great as this one, those are the mental mistakes you can't have. Your team has to be on the same page 100%. But the Bulldogs will certainly take the favor that was given to them by the Indians.
Still first down, ball on the 28.
So 1st and 15 for Harpath now following the penalty at the 28-yard line. Snap. Play action. Nice move by Stromat to avoid the sack. Rolls right. And just throws it away to the sideline, incomplete. So wisely there, Stromat lets it fly. Hickman County just absolutely relentless.
And Josh, one thing for Harpath is, yes, they're going through challenges, but they have to keep playing hard. They with the same intensity that they did at the beginning of the game. They can't hang their heads. We still have two more quarters to go, and they have to keep playing hard and as a team.
So 3rd down and long for Harpath. Or 2nd down, rather. So they're going to give. Up the middle, has a lot of room. And Hickman County almost gets the strip tackle there. But a nice job to hold on. So Harpath gets a lot of that yardage back. Ely was there.
Good positive yardage by Harpath.
So Harpath now sets up a 3rd down and manageable.
6 to go. Ball on Hickman
So I think
County.
Harpath was able to get Hickman County in a pass defense there. I mean, they've thrown the ball a lot on this drive, but right there it opens up the holes for the running game to get them some yards back. So Stromat in the gun, gets off a snap quickly, but immediately whistles blow again, and a timeout is called by Harpath. So they want to make sure they're all on the same page going into this 3rd down.
Harpath Indians, final timeout of the half.
So, Aiden, I know we saw a very successful run play here, but on a 3rd down and 6, I mean, at this stage of the game, you may even consider this 4-down territory. So do you consider maybe running it to try to get some of those yards back and then set up a 4th and manageable, or do you air it out on 3rd down going all for nothing?
I mean, it would be great to just go, all for nothing for Harpath. I mean, they've been down whole game and they're going through challenges, but they just have to keep on the same page and just know what the right play is. And I know their coach is trying to do the best thing for them right now in the timeout.
And right now, Aiden, it's all about getting momentum back if you're Harpath. And the way you get momentum back are big chunk plays. Plays that get your crowd amped up. Plays that get that student section loud and proud. And while, yes, you do appreciate small, modest gains every now and then, eventually you have to take risks because you don't come back 27-0 without taking those risks. So let's see what they've got brewed up here on 3rd down, possibly 4-down territory if they don't get it here. So Stromat will be in the gun as he has been most of the game. Ely will be in the backfield flanking him to his right. 2 receivers left, 1 wide right. Snap, look to throw, scans the field, pressure coming, rolls right, directs traffic, lets it fly to the end zone. Incomplete. Broken up in the corner.
Incomplete pass.
A great play by that Bulldog secondary to come up big, and it looked like there were two Indians there potentially to make a play, but then here come the Bulldogs making nothing easy for Harpath offensively. And it looks like Stromat's going to stay on the field for this 4th and 6. And we've got just over 5 minutes remaining in this first half.
He forgot to stop it. Yeah, he forgot to stop it.
Stromat in the gun. 3 receivers left, 1 right. Running back flanking him to his right, it's Ely. Snaps, they're going to throw, 4th down. Rolls left. Directing traffic. Pressure coming. Lewis misses the sack. And he's got room. Cuts back inside Stromat, lowers the shoulder. And what a great job of improv by Jaden Stromat. Picks up a Harpath first down and keeps the offensive drive alive.
Right there, Josh, for a second, the dogs could have been all on him, but he found a way to get through, and luckily there were some dogs next to the end zone.
Well, we know John Michael Lewis there was one of the first dogs on defense to greet him in the backfield, but John Michael Lewis so fast, so explosive, it looked like Stromat used that against him. He used that momentum, shuffled back, and he was able to take it, and once that pursuit committed to him, there was nobody left to stop him once he got around. So under center, Stromat gives up the middle to Ely, has a hole. Still on his feet, pushing forward, and he breaks the plane. Touchdown, Harpath. So Harpath finally able to erase that goose egg, and they are hoping only more from here. But there is a flag on the field, hold everything.
Check that. Flag on the play.
And it looks like a sideline warning was just issued to Harpath. Of course, we can't hear what goes on down there. We can only trust the officials' discretion. Whether it was a warning or not, unsure of the official decision there. You wouldn't think it would count against them as far as the touchdown goes. Either way, it'll be a 1st and goal for Harpath. And they'll be backed up outside the 10. But now they're moving the ball back up forward. What is happening? So I think they're just going to redo the play, it looks like, with Stromat under center. And here come the whistles. And it'll be a timeout, Hickman County. So, Aiden, we know it wouldn't be high school football without a little bit of chaos, and that was a little chaotic right there, and not really sure what they could have flagged Harpath for on the sideline unless a coach or a player said something out of line, but usually that's enforced after the play. But whatever the case, the touchdown is off the board for Harpath as of now with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the first half.
And, Josh, as Hickman County took the timeout, I mean, right there, we have got a little confused there, and we need to get our momentum back up. It feels like Harpath right now is kind of controlling the momentum, and we need the momentum to be on our side.
And I would completely agree with you. Offensively, Harpath has been driving right here, but if you're Hickman County, you have to remember, you're the ones in control right now. You're the ones that have been scoring it well. Your defense has looked pretty good. I mean, holding a team like Harpath to 0 points in one half up to this point, and your offense putting up 27 points in one half, I mean, you still feel pretty comfortable, but you don't want to give Harpath any leeway whatsoever. So here come the Indians after the touchdown was taken away. Snap. The ball is on the ground, a few yards there for Harpath. So 2nd down upcoming. They'll mark him down at around the 3-yard line.
2nd down.
So 3 yards to go for pay dirt. Snap. They'll give up the middle, a fullback dive, pushing forward, waiting for the spot. And he's short. So Harpath seems committed
Third and
on
goal.
pounding the rock right up the middle. But here comes a third down and short from the 2-yard line. Here's where the will, the guts will be tested of the Hickman County defense. They do have one receiver out wide to the right. I don't know if Harpath has any timeouts left. The receiver just asking for a direction here. Snap, up the middle.
Get in there.
Touchdown. That was number 9, John Neely on the carry. So Harpath finds themselves on the board.
AK Luminato. Touchdown, Harpath Indians.
So you had to think Harpath needed that in a big, big way. Anything to erase that goose egg, to start to give themselves some more momentum, to help build their confidence a little bit.
And Josh, right now, the Harpath energy here is just great, but the Bulldogs cannot let that affect them. They still have to play hard and win each and every play.
And I think, Aiden, you make a great point. You know, the noise has been palpable, to say the least. The energy has been there by Harpath as the PAT is wide and no good.
No good.
So the score will stay 27-6. But this Harpath fan base has been loud, of course, first game of the season. But I think that also plays, that also speaks a lot to how well Hickman County has been playing. Keeping the crowd silent is something you have to do in the high school level. We saw that a lot this basketball season. We saw how rowdy these fans can be. It means a lot to these parents, to these students. High school sports are no joke, Aiden, to a lot of these people. And if you're Hickman County on the road, game 1, they wanted to silence the crowd as soon as they could, and I think that's what they did. Now, that score right there does boost this crowd a little bit, but Hickman County looking to take back the reins of this ball game. And while Harpath prepares to kick things off, we once again appreciate you for tuning in with us here tonight for our first game of the season. We have waited so long to be back with you. It's such a joy to bring these Hickman County sports to you, whether it be to your living room, whether you're on the go, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or on the radio. Thank you for supporting us here at WNKX.
Now, Josh, Hickman County's probably frazzled a little bit right now just since Harpath scored, but let's see if this defense can keep this moving.
Well, and Aiden, they're going to try the onside here. Nice recovery. Bounce out to the right. Tries to follow some blockers. Hit and stood up by Harpath. Doesn't quite make it back to midfield. So Hickman County will take over at the 48, 1st and 10. And Aiden, to your point earlier, Hickman County's offense was on the sideline for a long time. That was one of the longest possessions we've seen of the game from either team that Harpath just manufactured there on offense. So hopefully, if you're Harpath, you're thinking maybe that gave Hickman County time to cool off. Maybe they're starting to slip a little bit. They're losing some focus, but only time will tell based on this drive.
Yes, Josh, we hope the Dogs' offense is still warm. Let's see if Kraft and Hutchinson can do something here for the Dogs.
Snap, give, McCaleb. He was able to shed off one tackle. Looked like a sure loss on the play, but able to get about 1 or 2 on the carry. They'll give him 1 down to the 49.
Second down.
Dogs now get set. And Kraft takes the timeout. Didn't like what he was seeing. So better to take the timeout, talk things over than to make a mistake, try to force something that isn't there. And it also shows the maturity of Kraft, his vision, his on-field intelligence, to see when the play is not what he wants it to be, to call a timeout and then talk things over with his team. He has stepped into this role like a true professional, Aiden. Stepped into to fill the void of quarterback last season, but he has certainly made that position his own.
Yeah, so far Andy Kraft has done great. I mean, sometimes you don't want to risk it, and he didn't want to risk it right there. He wanted to regroup, and he wanted to make the right play, which is great on his part because we wanted to keep the momentum on our side and keep it rolling.
Well, and also, sometimes when you're on the field, especially as a quarterback, it's your job to scan the field. It's your job to have that vision. And sometimes when you're under center taking snaps, you can see things that your coaches that are standing over on the sideline can't see. So Andy taking matters into his own hands there, trusting his vision. And that also shows the trust the coach has in him as well to say, hey, if you see something you don't like, take that timeout and let's draw up something different. So it was a pretty brief timeout as both teams now make their way back onto the field, close to midfield. Snap, give left, but Harpath was ready and they wrap him up well behind the line, a big loss. And I think that was the first time we've seen Hutchison go backwards all day.
By Joshua Emilio.
So a third down and long, and as effective as the run has been, perhaps the Dogs think about airing it out and going to the air on this third down and long. Third down, about 14 to go. They go back into that T formation, snap. Gives it right, but again, Harpath was ready, and again, Hickman County goes backwards on back-to-back plays. So Aiden, it really looks like that Harpath touchdown drive has bolstered this team. It has fired them up. They are playing defensively, they are playing defense rather with a purpose.
Yes, Josh, they are looking for Hutchison and Kraft that have made the play so far. Hickman County will have to put the ball in someone else's hands and make sure that they make the right play.
So now, I mean, it looks like the offense is staying out there. I mean, this is a 4th down and 17, it looks like. They're at the 40-yard line with under a minute to play, and the whistle blows, and a timeout is called by Hickman County. So now looking to talk things over. Aiden, I think they were just trying to run the clock down as far as they could to give Harpath as little time as possible to put something together going into the half.
And their job just shows the maturity, as we were saying earlier, with Coach Smith and Andy Kraft and the team itself, just knowing the right decisions to make in this ball game.
I mean, you really have to appreciate the situational awareness as well from Coach Smith to understand, you know, we've had a lot of plays that have gone backwards, but we're also still up 27-6. There's under a minute to play in the half. The last drive that Harpath put together that went for the touchdown took a lot longer than 54.9 seconds, which remains in this half right now. So force Harpath to be urgent. Force Harpath to push the ball downfield. Force Harpath to be uncomfortable with the offense they have to run, and maybe you get a turnover. So it looks like, yes, the Bulldogs will be punting things away. The snap, a little high, corralled, and the punt is away. It's high, angling to the right, bounces and rolls, and it will die at the sideline. They'll mark it down just inside the 30-yard line, it looks like, close to the 25.
Kick from Hickman County. Sends it to the Harpath.
So a pretty decent punt there forces Harpath to go about 75 yards to find the end zone. Harpath has 45.3 seconds to do so with no timeouts. And having to use those timeouts earlier because of the miscommunication, certainly coming back to haunt Harpath a little bit here, as it will force their offense to either push it downfield and score in a few plays, or it forces them to only look to the sidelines for passes. So 3 right, looks, quick receiver screen to the right, gets around, and a nice wrap-up tackle there by Armstrong, not going anywhere, and the clock continues to tick. And a whistle blows. I believe there's a flag on the field. So So let's see what the officials have to say. And they're talking it over on the far side. Perhaps the penalty is against Harpath, and they're asking if Hickman wants to accept or decline. Unsure. And it will be a false start against Harpath on that last play, or maybe it was an illegal formation. Either way, Harpath goes backwards for a 1st and 15. So they'll replay the down, and the clock now begins to wind under 35 seconds. Stromat in the gun, snaps, wants to throw. Rolls right, pressure coming. And he's going to tuck it and scamper out of bounds. So not a whole lot on the gain, but it does stop the clock.
Stromat keeps it. Checks out of bounds.
And this Hickman County pass rush has kept Stromat certainly uncomfortable. Now, he's made some spectacular plays, all credit in the world to that young man, but he's had to do it on the run. He's had to use his athleticism. He hasn't really been able to stand in the pocket, step up, get his feet set to complete these deep passes.
Yes, Josh. I mean, the Dogs, they're after him. They do not want him to make a pass downfield, and you can definitely see that as he's having to make difficult decisions on the run.
So Stromat in the gun yet again. Snap. Looks to throw. Pressure coming. Spins. He's wrapped up, and he's going down. Hickman County swarms Stromat. And that might bring us to the end of the half, but a Bulldog is shaken up on the play, and it's an official timeout taken.
Official timeout.
And it looks like that is Braden McCaleb down on the play. And of course, I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on television, but he's clutching at his knee, his lower body it looks like, and of course a man as strong as McCaleb, that's the source of his power, his explosiveness. But he's also a kid, ladies and gentlemen, and injuries you never want to see at any level, much less when they're just kids playing for fun, for the love of the game, if you will. So the trainers are now attending to McCaleb. So Aiden, while they're attending to him, I want to talk to you a little bit about your experience at Hickman County High School leading up to this season. Do you think the Bulldogs were expecting this to be the result on their first night? Was there a lot of confidence in the school?
Oh, yeah, Josh, you can tell there was so much confidence. I mean, just like we said earlier, I mean, last year was a difficult season, and with the rise of Coach Smith now, all the players were confident. They were ready to have fun. They were ready to go after the other team, and you can see that tonight, and this is what they expected.
We always appreciate a student's insight because, Aiden, you see things, of course, on a day-to-day basis with these players that we behind the scenes don't get to see. But with 13 and a half seconds left and a 3rd and 22 confronting Harpath in the shadow of their own goalpost, you have to think they're going to take a knee and run this clock out and live to fight another down instead of trying to force something, because Hickman County has been certainly a force to be reckoned with defensively on this series, and the clock now ticks. Stromat in the gun. And he'll snap it. They're going to run a play. He looks to throw, steps up, pressure coming, and he's sacked, and he's close to the goal line. Dangerously close to a safety. They'll mark him just outside the end zone, and that brings us to the end of the first half.
Can you move your items for the band, please? Move your items.
And your score going into the half, Hickman County 27, Harpath 6. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital. MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald family. Heritage Bank and Trust, and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
and we cannot thank our sponsors enough for making this possible. I mean, there are so many wonderful organizations in Hickman County that have contributed to making WNKX what it is, and we are so beyond grateful. But also, there are also a lot of other moving parts that make a broadcast like this possible as well. We're so thankful for Matthew Dotson and Hickman County High School for working with us, especially with the AV class. Matthew told me that they had about 35 students that are excited to work in radio, that are trying to get more experience, and that's what we love to provide here at WNKX. We're trying to pave the way for the future broadcasters that might be doing what I'm doing right now, and we're so thankful for Judd Rochelle accompanying us. He's a student at Hickman County High School who's been working our camera tonight, and he's been doing such a wonderful job, and we're so thankful to have Aiden Weber with us as well, who's been my color commentator for the evening. So, Aiden, as we're trying to buy some time here, we have about 8 minutes to go until the half. How's it been so far, your first ever time broadcasting? Has it been everything you've hoped it'd be?
Yes, Josh, it's been a pleasure. I want to thank you, WNKX, and Matthew Dotson for allowing me to have this opportunity. And, yeah, it's been great. It's been a fun first half, and can't wait to do more games in the future and the second half. So,
absolutely, and Aiden, we're so glad to have you. And, you know, a lot of people put the fear of public speaking even over death sometimes. So while you can't see the crowd you're speaking to right now, they're listening. So you've done a great job stepping up, and you haven't sounded nervous at all. So I give my props to you, and we're so thankful to all of you watching or listening, whether it be on YouTube, at Facebook, or on the radio, for supporting not just the station, but these young kids at Hickman County High School as well. And, you know, speaking of support, Aiden, we look over there, and that Hickman County fan base has not wavered, not for a second. They have been loud, they have been proud for the entirety of the first half, and they've had a lot to cheer about. So, Aiden, thinking about the first half, what stood out to you most about the Hickman County team?
I think a majority of it was the energy. We played hard every single play. Offense was great, had some great runs, great passes early on. Defense was great. That energy from offense carried to defense, and just like you said, I mean, Harpath is 45 minutes from Hickman, and we have such a great community fan base here tonight.
Absolutely, and Aiden, I think you said the key word there that I think needs to stick with this team for the rest of the season, and that is energy. Now, we think about last year. Now, Hickman County, it seemed like before every game, even against a tough opponent, they would always start pretty good. I mean, they would have a pretty decent drive, may not end in points. Their defense would always look pretty decent on the first drive of the game, but then the moment one thing happened that didn't go their way, whether it be a turnover, maybe the defense gave up a big play, the offense was getting stuffed, whatever negative thing you can imagine happening on a football field, if that thing were to happen to last year's team, it seemed like they would shut down. It seemed like they would lose all hope in the game. They would be defeated, even if that mistake happened in just the first quarter if they're down by a score. But this team, I mean, I know they've been winning for the entirety of the contest, but I think it all starts with how they came out here tonight. They came out with that energy, with that feeling of not being denied. I mean, they know what it takes to be a good football team. They're trusting in the plan their coaches have put out for them. They've bought in, I think, is the simple phrase I can use. That they bought into what their coaches have, and the coaches are trusting these guys to make the plays and to execute. And we can't say enough good about these dogs so far, but it is only the first game of the season. You have to remember what you're doing here so far, but also think about the little things that you've done wrong. Now, there haven't been a lot of them. We think about some penalties they've had, offensively and defensively. I think about the holding play early in the first half. I think about the false start they've had. You think about the targeting call that happened against the Hickman County defense. So nothing that has completely turned the tide of this game, but you know, you get down the road, you face a different opponent. Maybe you're in a one-score game and you commit a penalty like a hold or a targeting, and then you may find the game's outcome completely different because of that one mistake. So I think while you can appreciate the lead you have, you can never stop learning.
And, Josh, that's one thing about Coach Smith. He does not want to stay the same. He wants his guys and our team to grow, and that is something that you can definitely see from last year's team to this year's team is the importance of Coach Smith and the assistant coaches and what they have implemented to our guys on the field.
And, Aiden, I want to think back a little bit to last year. I want to do some reflection while we have this halftime break. And I want to think about the last time these two teams met. Of course, it was at home. Hickman County was hosting Harpath late in the season. and it didn't go too well for the Bulldogs. The final score was 34-22 in favor of the Indians. But think about tonight. Hickman County has already put up more points in one half against Harpath than they could the entirety of the game last year. If that doesn't show you the amount of work they've put in to take themselves to the next level, then I don't know what else will.
Oh, yeah, Josh. I mean, just by what guys have said at school, how they act, and just what they've said, how practice is, I mean, it's intense and it is hard, but, I mean, that's what you have to do to be successful, and you can definitely tell that on the field tonight.
Well, and you talk about the practices. Football, it's very physical, but it also requires a great amount of strategy. I mean, if you look at a football field, it requires almost more game planning than almost any other sport does. I mean, it's almost like if you're a coach, you're having to arrange chess pieces in just the right position in order to beat your opponent. You know, in other sports like baseball, for example, you put your guys against my guys. You step in a batter's box, you see if you can hit an 80-mile-an-hour fastball. But in football, it's not just about execution. You can take all the talent in the world and put it on a football field, but if they're working against each other instead of together, then they're going to lose that game to a team that works like a well-oiled machine, even if they may not be as talented. But this Hickman County team has melded athleticism, talent, and game planning. And I think that also goes back to Coach Smith's background in military, his ability to strategize and to put things together, to operate, to orchestrate, to organize. But I also think it speaks very much of his supporting cast. You mentioned his assistant coaches earlier, and one of the last points that he made in the conversation that we had last week, he said, I cannot speak highly enough on my support system of assistant coaches, and he said that he was never afraid to let them step up in practice or in games to say, hey, you need to do this better. This side of the ball needs to do this better, because he understands a lot of his assistant coaches have a lot more coaching experience than he does. He even said that maybe there were some assistant coaches that may have been quote-unquote more qualified to lead the team. But it seems like right now, the way things are working out for these Dogs in the preseason and in Game 1, everyone is right where they need to be. The assistant coaches doing their job, Coach Smith being a great leader, and then, of course, the players executing and Andy Kraft stepping up as a second-year quarterback in his junior year.
Yes, Josh. I mean, everybody likes to think about the physical, but really it's the mentality. I mean, like we talked about earlier, you know, last year's team, if we made a mistake, then we probably would have shut down. Well, Coach Smith doesn't even want that thought to happen with our guys this year. He wants to move forward. So if we make a mistake, when we make a mistake, that's not the end of our run. We're going to come back, and that's what Coach Smith has emphasized, and that's why he gets his assistant coaches some feedback, is to get that insight on what the best play and right play will be.
And also, I mean, we touched on this a lot in the pregame show, but as we look over to our left right now, our camera's on it right now if you're watching. If you're on the radio, you can only allow me to paint you a picture. But the guys are stretching near the left end zone, and it just seems like there is an absolute army of football players. The depth is unbelievable that Coach Smith has accumulated this season. And whenever I talked to Coach Smith, he spoke very highly of a lot of his freshmen. He said the younger guys, they're hungry, they want to get on the field, they want to get some playing time. I had the privilege of being the PA announcer for the middle school team last year and this year, and that's a fun team to watch. The Hickman County Middle School Bulldogs, I encourage you to support them every Thursday that you get the opportunity to. And last year, he had such a talented team. It seemed like they were blowing out teams left and right. They were winning almost every week. Winning was the norm for the Hickman County Middle School Bulldogs, and that was in part due to the 8th graders he had last year. A lot of leaders on that team, and now they're having to step into a new role. Now they're the ones learning. But that doesn't mean they can't be a young leader. And he spoke very highly of Jackson Mayberry. He was very high on him, a big man up front, and he was looking to get him a lot of playing time this year because of the mentality that he had coming into his freshman year. He said he was ready to play football. He was ready to go. Now, he did have a bit of a knee injury in the offseason just this last year, but he said he's recovered fine. He's ready to go. So I'm looking forward to seeing Jackson Mayberry really make his mark on this game if he does get a healthy number of minutes. And that goes for really any freshman or sophomore on this team. I think Coach Smith can look at any of those guys and say, I trust you to make a play. Now go out there and do it. Don't make a fool out of me.
Yes, Josh. I mean, I bet Coach Smith has all the confidence in the world to put a sophomore or a freshman on the field. I mean, if you're a freshman or sophomore, it is hard to find that confidence. But these guys have shown that confidence in the preseason and in practices. So Coach Smith can trust all of his guys that he has on the team.
Absolutely, and really at the high school level, you're relying on a lot of guys to play a lot of different positions. As you get up to college, I mean, we think about the Heisman winner last season, Travis Hunter, who played for Colorado. He was able to win the Heisman because of how good he was playing offense and defense. And that made him so unique because as you get older, it just doesn't happen. So at the high school level, you have to take advantage of the athleticism of these young men and let them play both sides of the ball, because eventually it gets to the point where they're probably not playing. They have to focus and zero in on one spot and hone their craft and make sure they are the best at that position as they can be. But it seems like on this field, anybody can play anywhere. And we talked about the lack of depth on the offensive line. But if you think about the big guys that you can turn to, guys like John Michael Lewis, who usually plays tight end, guys like Braden McCaleb, guys who aren't traditional offensive linemen but can play the role of a blocker. And we saw that pay dividends in the first half. They were opening holes left and right for guys like Hutchison and McCaleb when he got the ball. And we think about when Kraft would have his quarterback keepers as well.
Bulldog fans, as we're about to enter the second half. The first half went great for the Dogs. Let's see if they can keep the upward momentum going in this second half.
And sometimes in the second half, if you're Harpath, you have to see this. It's almost a new game. Now, Hickman County did have the ball first to start the game. Hickman County did, so that means they will be kicking it away. Harpath will take over with the first offensive possession of the third quarter. And right now, you're trailing by 3 scores. If you can open up this first drive of the half with a touchdown, 2-score game, all of a sudden it doesn't seem so insurmountable. So the defense can't play back on their heels. They have to be up, ready to make a play, ready to make those big tackles where they need them.
And just adding on to what you said, I mean, at the beginning of the game, like you said, we had offense first, and the defense had energy because of the offense. But this time the defense is going to have to bring the energy for the offense.
That is a fantastic point you make, Aiden. And I have no doubt that they will. We have seen, I mean, we saw how the half ended for those that were here tuning in for that. Hickman County was forcing Harpath backwards, and it looked like Harpath was trying to get something going to get some late points to take into the half with them. But Hickman County would not budge. So the Bulldogs looking for more of the same. So Lambert now setting up shop at the 40, ready to boom things away to start our third quarter. The whistle sounds. And we are underway. It's a booming kick from Lambert. Fielded near the 20. And Hickman County swarming him and wraps him up. And he'll get down to maybe the 25, if that. They might mark him just shy. They'll say he was at the 24-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Indians.
Harpath takes over on the own 25, 1st and 10.
So Harpath can view this third quarter almost as a fresh start. And they will certainly need the backing and encouragement of the crowd 100%. So spreading the field out wide here early. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. In the gun, snap, quick throw out to the left. Has some blockers in front of him. But Hickman County closing the window fast. And Armstrong was one of the lead tacklers there. McCaleb and Lewis there as well. So an official timeout is called on the field. And it looks like a player is shaken up on the close side. And both teams will take this time to congregate. We hope that young man is okay.
On the plus side, Josh, I mean, great job by Hickman County there, the Dogs, of getting that stop there.
Of course, and if you're Hickman County, you go in for these tackles. I mean, it's a contact sport. You never anticipate injuring either yourself or someone else, so it's just part of the game, unfortunately, as the trainers now surround this injured player. And it looks like he's back to his feet. Almost. Oh, he was, but he went back down again. So both sidelines taking knees, maybe a cramp. Hopefully it's just that and nothing more serious. And Aiden, I think this is one of my favorite parts of the sport, reminding everyone that we're human, and just because we're opposing each other on the football field doesn't mean we can't come together when a player's down. I mean, look across the sideline. All of Hickman County's bench is on a knee right now in solace for this player. And he's finally back to his feet. A bit of a limp, a grimace on his face, and being helped off.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give this.
It was number 12, Jaden Rayleigh, the senior.
And Josh, we talk about the Hickman County Bulldogs putting in the hard work, but we know Harpath has put in the hard work as well. And so just having that amount of respect for each other on the opposing team is definitely important in these situations.
Sportsmanship, almost a lost art in our world today, so nice to see these teams come together, and hopefully that young man's all right as he's being helped at the sideline. So snap. Looks to throw, fires left, caught in stride, cuts back inside, makes a man miss, makes another man miss, bounces off another tackle, and he's down close to the first down marker. So Aiden, I think what Harpath is trying to do here, they're trying to get Stromat comfortable. They're trying to zero him back in, utilizing these short passes.
I totally agree, Josh, and the Dogs have to realize that, and they have to stop him in these situations. We cannot let Harpath gain the momentum here in the second half.
So Harpath wants to spread the field again, 2 receivers to the right. Quarterback in the gun. No, under center, snaps, gives, Ely. Nice juke, cuts back inside, has the first down. So a pair of first downs now for Harpath early in this third quarter. Perhaps the Indians are finding their legs a little bit.
So far, Josh, the Indians has been a whole different team, it seems like, than the first half. They have gained more yardage than they did in the first half, it seems, and the Dogs need to realize that, and they need to switch the momentum for us.
So Harpath at their own 44 here after a pair of first downs. Quarterback Stromat under center. Snaps. They're going to feed it up the gut, but not a whole lot going. He surges ahead for maybe a couple on the play. Second down and 8, upcoming from the 46. So a play like that, definitely a positive for Hickman County. Not allowing those big chunk plays that really fire up the crowd. So the whistle blows. Another stoppage. Not really sure what the concern here is. Neither side took a timeout. Maybe checking the spot of the ball, perhaps. The officials, or one of the officials rather, is talking to Kraft in the secondary. It might have been the knee pads of Andy Kraft there, might have lost their positioning a little bit. Either way, we're back to action. Second down and 8 in the gun. Snap, Stromat gives, and Hickman County was ready for it, and they're going backwards. And they'll be backed up to about the original line of scrimmage. So third down and 10 for Harpath. So Hickman County's defense seemed to have adjusted pretty quickly. a couple of explosive plays, a couple of early first downs for Harpath, but Hickman County took a deep breath, now looking to get off the field. And this is a big third down early for Harpath in this half. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Stromat in the gun, Ely to his right. Snaps, looks to throw, drops back, has time, steps up in the pocket, fires out, gets caught, and he's hit almost immediately. And that's going to be close. The officials giving him a favorable spot. If he doesn't have it, he is inches shy of the yard to gain. And they will signal a first down. The chain gang is on the march down the field, and Harpath finds themselves in Bulldog territory down to the 46.
Harpath, first and 10.
So once again, Aiden, we see them rely on the short passes, allowing their athletes to take over in space. A lot of missed tackles, a lot of nice moves here from Harpath's ball carriers. So snap, first down, they're going to keep it on the ground, but Hickman County stuffs him at the line.
So far, Josh, in this second half, I mean, Harpath has had some great plays, but Hickman County has also been there to meet them. So far, it's been a pretty equal matchup thus far.
So Harpath in the huddle. It seems like these short passes have been their most efficient means of offense. Perhaps they go back to it here. Stromat in the gun, 2 receivers right, 2 left. Running back next to his quarterback. Snap, man in motion. It's going to be a jet sweep to his receiver. Cuts back, has a lot of room. Cuts back right. And he's met quickly by Armstrong, and they're going to wrap him up at the 40. So about 6 yards on the play. And that was number 14, Mitch Brower.
Josh, talking about Armstrong, I mean, so far he has had a great game. I mean, he had a good run in the first half and 2 sacks here in the second. So far Armstrong has had a great game.
And the young man's name was Mitch Brower, my mistake. So quarterback in the gun again, Stromat. Snap, looks to throw, checks it back to his left, has his man. Makes the man miss, still on his feet, wrapped up down at the 26-yard line. Harpath on the move.
Pitch to John Michael Neely. Results. And another Bruce.
That was John Neely there on the reception for Harpath. And I believe that was Ely there, the running back, that threw that pass. So Harpath really in their bag of tricks here. Snap. They're going to keep it on the ground. Has a hole. Cuts up field down to the 20 and taken down. Sims, one of the first men there to meet him. He'll get about 6 yards on the carry. 2nd down and 4 for Harpath.
Josh, if you're Hickman County right now, you have to realize that Harpath is close to the end zone. So playing their hardest right now is definitely important. Not saying that they haven't been the whole game.
Snap. Fakes the sweep, and now he goes around to the left. Kraft in pursuit, drags him down by the jersey. And that should be enough to move the chains for the Indians. So he faked the toss right and gave it to his receiver on the sweep left. And there is a Hickman County Bulldog down on the play. The officials blow the whistle, and it's a timeout on the field. And we have 5 minutes and 48 seconds to play in this third quarter. So, Aiden, we've already seen a couple of men go down from each team. And, you know, in the early stages of this football season, you know, we're used to it getting later in the fall, the cooler temperatures, the wind's blowing, the leaves are falling. It's nice. But in these early games, it's still August. It's hot. And if you're not careful, if you're not hydrated, injury can become a lot more likely. And dehydration can be a serious problem, and we see a lot of cramps happen. So hopefully that's all that is on the field. Hopefully it's not an injury that's more serious than that. And from what I've seen, it seems like these two injuries we've seen thus far to start this half have been cramps. But of course, I don't want to make too many assumptions as the trainers attend to the man on the field.
Yes, at this part of the game, I mean, injury is something, any part of the game, injury is something you don't want to happen, and all the coaches know that, and so you know they're watching the players, you know they're hydrating well, but you never know. I mean, anything could happen on the field at any moment, so just practicing the right way and practicing hard is very important.
So number 8, Jackson Smith, was one of the players for Hickman County being attended to, but there was another Bulldog down at the far side of the field that I didn't even notice at first. And that looks like Andy Kraft, the other one that was shaken up on the play. Hopefully, once again, just cramps, but we don't know for sure. So they're going to be going to the sideline to probably get further evaluation just to make sure before they can take the field once more. But now after a bit of a delay there, it's time we get the action back underway as Harpath's offense is back on the field. Hickman's defense looks ready to go. So 1st and 10 for the Indians at the 16. And they are knocking on the door of the end zone in the red zone. Under center, snaps, Stromat, feeds up the middle. And a lot of traffic and nowhere to go. And Ely is wrapped up, the ball's loose. And the referees blow the whistle signifying that it was not, in fact, a fumble. The runner's knee was down, but still a good tackle in the backfield for the Dogs to force a negative play, 2nd down and 13. They'll be backed up to about the 19-yard line with 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. They're trying to make up for some lost yardage here. Stromat in the pistol. Snap, drops back to pass, looks, pressure coming to his left, makes a man miss, steps up, still on his feet, and he's finally wrangled down in the backfield for a sack.
That's a good play there by number 17 named Rain. Good play by him, stayed on Harpath the whole time. Let's see what the Dogs have in store on this next defensive play.
And the bringer of rain, Rain Nola, making it pour in the backfield. Picking up his first sack of the game. Quarterback in the gun, 3rd and long, 15 yards to the sticks. Pressure coming again. Michael Lewis on the edge. Ball is tipped, incomplete. In and out of the hands of his receiver, who was looking for number 22, Gage Scott. Perhaps the ball sailed a little bit on him, and that brings up a 4th and long, 15 yards to the sticks. And they might leave their offense out here. I mean, after this long first drive of the half, you can't come away with nothing. So it's decision time for Coach Moorhead and the rest of his guys. And by the looks of it, the offense will stay on the field. And if you're Hickman County, you have to anticipate a pass play. Stromat loves using his outlet guys in the flat, but he also likes going over the middle. Snap, looks to throw, fires over the middle of the field, and a sliding grab. Hickman County thought it was incomplete. The officials rule it a catch, but where is he spotted?
Pass by Stromat to Preston Barrett. Results.
And they'll say it was enough to move the chains. 1st and goal for Harpath at the 8.
That right there, Josh, is a great play by Harpath. Let's see if Hickman can bounce back.
Now, clearly Stromat much more comfortable throwing the ball over the middle. I mean, we've seen a couple of strikes from him already in this game. But right there, what a phenomenal catch. Sliding on the ground, knowing there are defenders bearing down on you. Great concentration. Now Harpath, after a 4th and 15 conversion, an absolute backbreaker for this Hickman County defense. Now they have to stand strong back against the goal line. No. They marked him short. It was a turnover on downs. Hickman County takes over. They had me all confused, Aiden. I swore they said it was a 1st down Harpath, and here comes Andy Kraft taking snaps. So my mistake. So under 4 minutes to play, Hickman County's 1st down carry goes for maybe a yard.
Second and 9, Hickman County.
So that great play by Harpath, all for naught, as the Bulldogs back on the offensive. Snap. Kraft gives. Hutchison gets around the edge, cuts back upfield, and dives forward. So it sets up a very quick third down for the Dogs. And if they're unable to convert here on this 3rd down and 5, perhaps that forces out the punting unit. Otherwise, Aiden, with 5 yards to go on a 3rd down, you'd think it'd be 4-down territory, but this close to their own end zone, I feel like that's not a risk you want to take. I think if you're Coach Smith, if you asked him, he'd say, let's just get the 1st down here and not worry about it.
Yes, you're right, Josh. I mean, Hickman, their momentum has gone down a little bit, but maybe they can make something happen in this play and get some yardage, get the 1st down.
Kraft gives up the middle, has a 1st down and more down the sideline. It's a foot race.
Catch it, dude.
And he's taken out of bounds, still on his feet, well into Harpath territory. What a carry. So on 3rd and 5, typically a passing situation, but not with these Bulldogs. You have to expect the unexpected.
I mean, Josh, it's crazy how a game changes. I mean, we were on this side of the field, now we're on the other side of the field. So, I mean, great job, great play there by the Bulldogs.
That we are, Aiden.
Ball spotted on the Indian 42.
So Hickman County was down about the 12-yard line of their own. Now they find themselves the Harpath 42. 1st and 10, snap. Gives left. Hutchison is met by a few Indians, cuts back inside, and he's actually able to make something out of nothing. It looked like he shouldn't have gotten a yard on the play, but he'll get maybe 1, maybe 2, but another Bulldog is down, clutching at his lower body.
Another official timeout.
That right there is Hutchinson. He did a great play, but he did get hit pretty hard in his lower knee, so we hope that it's nothing serious.
And Aiden, you know, with Hutchison out there on the field, I mean, he has been relied on a lot in this game. He has been, I can't even count how many times he's had the ball in his hands tonight. But with that comes fatigue. Now, I'm sure if you ask him, being the competitor that he is, he doesn't want to sub out ever. He wants to stay on that field every single play. He always wants the ball in his hands so he can make something happen. But here's also the drawback to that. When you're on the field so much, when you're given the ball so much, especially on a warm night like tonight, I mean, injuries I feel like are so prone to happen. And once again, it looks like maybe just a cramp. So maybe get some water, maybe some liquid IV in his system, and hopefully he'll be back before too long. But, of course, we can't assume anything.
I mean, Josh, for both sides, Hickman and Harpath, I mean, seems like cramps has been like crazy this game. But that's also just because it's the first game and it's very hot out here tonight. But
now, Aiden, for you as a basketball player, you understand what it's like to be running back and forth constantly in a gym where it can get hot very fast. So you know that these things can happen, especially on even on a football field as well, especially on a football field. So Hutchison on his feet, trying to walk under his own power, a bit of a limp. So hopefully he'll be back in the huddle before too long.
Just like we said, Josh, Taylor has been such a phenomenal part of the Dogs offense tonight. So we hope that he will be able to come back by the 4th quarter.
Or sooner. With 1 minute and 48 seconds to play, I guess that might be a bit of wishful thinking on my part, as this 3rd quarter is nearing its end, and that just shows you how long Harpath's first drive took, almost an entire quarter of time. You know, and that's really where the methodical pacing of Harpath's offense can come back to bite them. I mean, if they find themselves down by multiple scores, especially late in the game, and here's the first pitch, nice pitch to the right. He'll have a 1st down and more. He's down the sideline. It's a foot race. He's going to take it to the casa. Touchdown, Hickman County.
Touchdown, Hickman County.
And Jaden Street put a couple of defenders on Dream Street. What a carry for the Bulldogs.
As we said earlier, Jaden Street is one of the leaders on the football team, and he showed that in that play, taking control, running the ball, and giving a touchdown for our Bulldogs.
Aiden, how brushed up are you on mythology?
I'm not sure, Josh.
Well, maybe you've heard of the creature, the Hydra. And the Hydra in Greek mythology, the PAT is blocked yet again, so it'll stay 33-6. But to my previous point, in Greek mythology, there is a creature called a Hydra that if you cut off one head, it just grows back multiple heads in its place. You look here, Hutchison taken down, one of the heads, quote-unquote, cut off for that next play, but you see Street step up just as dangerous, if not more dangerous. I mean, we saw that acceleration, the maneuverability, the ability to make people miss going all the way to the end zone. I mean, this Bulldog offense can strike you from all sides. It's impressive.
I mean, Josh, I couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more.
And consider that a little lesson for you. If you didn't know about mythology, Aiden, now you do. So while we prepare for the Bulldogs kicking it away, I want to remind you that we here on WNKX Live will be back in 7 days' time for the home opener at Hickman County High School at Kenneth Moe Wright Stadium, which houses Jerry Bratton Field. We will be with you, bringing you coverage of the Hickman County Bulldogs' first home game against Waverly, and it will be a good game that I can assure you you won't want to miss it. We encourage you to pack the stands, give these young men the support they deserve, but if you can't make it for whatever reason, we will still be providing live coverage all the same, and we are so excited to be with you next Friday night at 7 p.m. So Lambert, after the block PAT, set to kick things away. And it's a missile of a kick. Probably came off the foot at 100 miles an hour. But it's returned 15, 20, bounces right, tries to cut back, but too many dogs there to wrap him up. They'll take him down at the 20, if not just shy of the 20. So, Aiden, you know, if you want to give some criticism to these Bulldogs, I think the special teams, at least where PATs are concerned, Lambert has been accurate kicking. However, it's been Harpath able to fly around the edges, shoot up the middle, and block these kicks. And if you're Hickman County, you've got to work on your blocking up front in those situations. Now, offensively, when they need a big run, the offensive line does their job no problem. But with special teams, that will probably be a point of emphasis in practice next week.
Yes, Josh, you're right, and that's the beauty of this being our first game is knowing what we're good at and what we need to improve on, and that's something that the coaching staff is definitely looking forward to in this week's practice.
So Harpath will start off at their own 20-yard line, just under 90 seconds to play in the third quarter. Stromat in the gun. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Snaps, looks to throw, fires over the middle. It's a slant route complete, and he brings the boom. Andy Kraft. That's a quarterback, by the way, in case you didn't know, laying hits like that. Aiden, I think it's safe to say the son of a sheriff was laying down the law on that hit over the middle.
Yes, you are right, Josh. He was laying down the law.
And we know while Stromat is comfortable throwing passes over the middle, and while that was a big hit, it was still complete. They still got 6 yards and have a second down and manageable with 4 to go. But those are the hits that really fire up your own sideline and your fan base regardless of what the offense does with it. Stromat again over the middle. Incomplete. And that was a big hit he took. And they're going to say the contact was just at the time of the ball. So no pass interference called, but Hickman County, my goodness.
But going back to Andy Kraft, I mean, this just shows his talent. He's good on the offensive and defensive end. So that's something to look for in the upcoming future of the season.
And it really puts things in perspective, Aiden. Whenever you see Andy keep the ball on quarterback draws or any sort of quarterback designed run, a guy they can hit like that, what we just saw, is the guy carrying the football. It's like a freight train. It's looking to pass. Stromat. Pressure coming, pocket collapsing, steps up, evades it, lets it fly, and sails it. Had a man open. Street in coverage. But the pass falls harmlessly to the turf, incomplete. But again, it's Hickman County forcing Stromat to throw on the run, not letting him get set up in the pocket.
And that's something Hickman County needs to keep moving forward is not letting Harpath get comfortable. The Dogs need to be the ones comfortable, not Harpath.
Absolutely, and with 41.2 seconds to play in this third quarter, Hickman County leads 33-6 over the Harpath Indians. So 4th and short.
We ain't got players out there.
And Harpath are a few men down on the field as they hustle now onto the field. Now the special teams unit. And they have 5 seconds on the play clock.
2, 1, like the ball.
And they have to snap it. And Hickman County begging for a delay of game call, and finally the whistles blow and the flags fly, and that will be a delay of game, backing them up even closer to their own end zone. They were previously at the 27, now they'll be at the 22-yard line. So right there, again, some miscommunication, Aiden, just coming back to haunt the Indians.
And that's something the Dogs need to consider, is that we need to be communicating very well. I mean, Harpath right there was not communicating, which ended up in missing some yards there.
Now their punter has even more pressure on him to kick it deep, with Andy Kraft back to return, standing at his own 40-yard line. Snap on target, the kick is away. And it's a pretty good punt, fielded by Kraft. Fair catch is called at the 46. And that's where Hickman County will set up shop. And they'll mark him actually down back at the 45-yard line. So the Dogs, the defense doing them a lot of favors, giving them some good starting field position for this next drive with just about 30 seconds to play in the third quarter. Probably see 1 or 2 more plays before the quarter winds to its conclusion. So we see Hutchison back in the huddle, Aiden, so that's a very good sign for Hickman County and for that young man who's so talented. We hate to see any injuries take place. Let's see how much they keep him involved after that scare. And once again, Hickman County, who utilizes a lot of motion, might have just been called for false start.
Flag on the play. Looks to be a false start, Hickman County.
And yes, the official will back the ball up 5 yards to the 40, and the official signifies false start.
1st and 15.
So 1st and 15, but as we saw from that last offensive possession, it doesn't matter where Hickman County is on the field. They can strike like lightning. Whether it's 1st and 15, 2nd and 3, doesn't matter. Snap, Kraft, Gibbs. That's McCaleb surging up the field down to the 49, close to midfield, and he'll get the yards back, lost on the penalty, and then some.
And Josh, we've talked about Hutchison and Kraft a lot tonight, but Braden McCaleb has been a excellent factor in tonight's game as well.
Absolutely. He has brought a different piece to the puzzle. He has been a different dynamic. With Hutchison, he's fast. Street also fast, can make guys miss. McCaleb says, here I am, come tackle me if you can. And, you know, sometimes it works out for him. Sometimes they'll wrap him up. Sometimes they'll be able to chop the tree down. But all the same, that brings us to the end of our third quarter here on WNKX. Your score, Hickman County 33, Harpath 6. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital. MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald Family. Heritage Bank and Trust, and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
And we are back. The fourth quarter is almost underway. Here in Kingston Springs, we are live at Harpath High School for the first game of the 2025 football season. Hickman County has been dominating to this point, leading 33-6, but still 12 minutes between the Bulldogs and a W. So 2nd down and 6 at their own 49 to start the quarter. Kraft under center. Snap. Give up the middle, not a whole lot going for the Dogs. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, if that. So 3rd down and 6 upcoming for Hickman County.
Good stop by Harpath. Ball placed on Hickman's 49. 3rd down, 6 to go.
Hickman County, of course, rocking the all-white uniforms, the black helmets tonight. Harpath with the black, white, and blue. Snap. Kraft keeps it, gets around the edge, and he slips and falls, lost his footing. Oh, and those type of falls you do not want to see your quarterback taking as he tried to plant his foot. Now he is back to his feet, hobbling just a little bit, but Andy Kraft, one of the toughest young men you'll meet. And I'm sure his philosophy, just rub some dirt on it, let me walk for a few seconds, and I'll be good to go. As he's back to his feet, his teammates surrounding him. He's looking at the sideline. He might take a play off here. Yes, he will. Kraft will be attended to on the sideline. So on 4th down, they might consider just punting it here unless they want to try to give it and see what happens. No, the punter will be on the field.
And Josh, that's something you don't want to see. You don't want to see Andy Kraft on the sideline, but, I mean, sometimes you can't control it.
And Qualls to punt, and it's away just over the outstretched arms of some Harpath defenders. Punt fielded inside the 20. 25-30. Wrapped up just beyond the 30-yard line, maybe down to the 31. So Hickman County, an anxious moment or two, but a nice pursuit to wrap him up. And now is another player shaken up on the far side. And it looks like another Bulldog.
Got another official timeout to play it down.
There have been a lot of official timeouts called tonight, and it seems like now it's starting to be more lopsided. Like Hickman County is now starting to take the brunt of these injury timeouts. And, you know, Aiden, this is something you need to be leery of. I mean, they say the best ability is availability. And if you are constantly in fear of someone getting hurt, then that can certainly hurt your chances going forward in future games.
And Josh, the big thing is, I mean, Hickman County is up 33-6. Really, we don't have to pressure anything. We need to be patient, and we just need to protect the ball.
Absolutely, no reason to take any unnecessary risks. But, of course, in the game of football, just a routine tackle can be a risk. I mean, that's how physical this game is. And, you know, these are a lot of strong men that are here, you know, making these tackles, making these plays. So when you're getting hit by someone like John Michael Lewis, for example, or someone just his size, you're going to feel it for a little bit. So, you know, that's why training is just so very important, you know. And as much as you love running the football plays, learning the ins and outs of your passes, your runs, your defenses, making sure you're physically able-bodied is also just as important. So after the official timeout has concluded, Harpath now takes the field offensively at their own 30-yard line. So at this point, with just under 11 minutes to play, Harpath trying to add on some more points for pride purposes, looking to throw. Fires over the middle, a little bit behind him, in and out of the hands, incomplete.
Pass by Stromack, incomplete.
Was looking for Davenport, the junior receiver. So we usually see Stromat so comfortable throwing over the middle, but right there, just a little bit behind him. And while you'd like to see your receiver make those tough catches, it's hard to do, especially knowing, well, after this, I have to catch it, then turn upfield, while also worrying about the defense that's coming towards you as well. So a lot of factors there. So 2nd down and 10 for the Indians. Snap. Drops back to pass. Scanning. Pressure coming. Rolls right out of the pocket. Cross body. Floats it over the middle of the field. It's caught. And he's wrapped up and taken down. A modest gain on the play.
Pass to Cameron Haddon complete.
He found Cameron Haddon there over the middle.
20 yardage.
And if you're a quarterback, Aiden, who has to escape the pocket, your best friend is your running back or your check down receiver right in the middle of the field, just waving his arms saying, here, I'm open, hit me. And he did just that right there. Was able to bail out his quarterback instead of having him to use his legs and potentially risking a big shot there. So 3rd down and 3 for the Indians at the 37. He airs it out to the sideline, passes high, incomplete. Off the hands of his receiver. Armstrong was there bearing down in coverage. He was looking for his running back there, Ely, who has certainly been one of the players they've relied to most other than their quarterback. I mean, he's been carrying the ball out of the backfield right there. He was looking for a pass on the far side of the field. So, and a timeout will be taken by Harpath.
Timeout. CLH Plumbing, timeout. Harpath High School.
So Harpath now in 4th down and 4 to go. At this stage of the game, Aiden, you got to think they keep the offense on the field.
Yes, definitely, Josh. I mean, we're 10 minutes away from the end of the game, and Harpath is definitely trying to get some points added to the board. So,
for sure. I mean, they still trail by several scores, and winning might be out of the picture here for Harpath, but I mean, these games still count, right? These reps that you're getting are still in a live game. So you still want your quarterback completing his passes. You want your blockers doing their job up front. You want your running back hitting the holes that are being opened for them. You never want to hang your head, and that's something we see a lot of young teams do at the high school level. If something doesn't go their way, they hang their head. They have that defeated feeling. But if you're Harpath, you can't afford that, because guess what? You play next week. This is only the beginning. You need to lock in and figure out what needs to be taken care of as far as fixes to be made to this team. So he's going to drop back to pass. 4th down. They're going for it. Pressure coming. Makes a man miss. Rolls right. Fires. Incomplete. Almost intercepted by Spiegelmeyer right through his hands. But it will fall harmlessly to the turf, and that will be a turnover on downs. Hickman County will take over, and you have to feel a little bit for this quarterback, Stromat. I mean, he has been doing all he can. That Bulldog pass rush has been relentless, but he has been elusive in the backfield. He's been hard to bring down. He's got a strong arm, certainly a lot of promise in this kid's future, I think, especially for the rest of the season. If they can just sort out, some of the problems they've been having, I think Harpath will be just fine going forward with the talent on this team.
And Josh, that just goes back to Harpath using what they've struggled with this game to strengthen themselves in next week's game.
Absolutely, and Hickman County will take over. Motions, Hutchison, Kraft keeps it, follows his blocks. Andy down the sideline. It's a foot race. Goodbye, Andy Kraft. He'll take it on to the end zone. Touchdown, Hickman County.
Touchdown, Hickman County.
And Josh, that's another great run by Hickman County, getting another touchdown on the board. Let's see if Parker Lambert can get us a field goal here.
Hey, Aiden, did you know Andy Kraft was limping just a few plays ago? You wouldn't have known it because he accelerated there like a cheetah. He was flying down the left side. All the credit in the world to his blockers as well, giving him that lane down the sideline. And Andy, he can do it all. Defense, offense, throwing, running. He is a dynamic young man, absolutely. But he also has a great supporting cast around him. So Lambert, who's had a couple of struggles so far, and this PAT is up. And this one is also no good. Harpath might have gotten a hand on it. So a positive that you can take if you're the Indians, your special teams has looked pretty good. I mean, they've had solid punts. They were able to force a few, 3 now, missed PATs. They've had some explosive returns. So the special teams unit for Harpath has certainly been trying their absolute best. Of course, not perfect by any means, but certainly a bright spot in this game for the Indians. But with that missed PAT, that will leave your score, Hickman County 39, Harpath 6. You have 9 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in this game. So Lambert now setting up shop to boot things away to the Indians. And Hickman County just continues to pour it on. And it's away, a high arcing kick. A beautiful kick from Lambert, fielded inside the 15. Hickman County trying to hawk him down to the 25, and that's where he will be stopped by the Hickman County Special Teams unit. And there is a penalty marker down. So maybe a block in the back here. But the flag was down at midfield, so I'm wondering what he saw there.
And you know, Josh, with the challenges that Harpath has faced this game, you know they're tired, they're beat down physically and mentally, but their coaching staff, and the players need to know that the fourth quarter is what matters, especially for next game, is keeping that momentum going.
And that's really the last thing you remember, right? The fourth quarter. Regardless of what you've done in the first, second, and third, your fourth quarter is really what carries over into that next game, because that's the last time you were on the field. So you make a great point there, Aiden. And the flag was indeed against the Indians, so that'll back them up 15 yards, or 10 yards. 10 yards, it looks like. And I believe they did flag them for illegal block in the back. So they will start off at their own 15-yard line with under 8.5 minutes to play. So they spread the field. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Running back flanking the quarterback in the gun. Snap. They're going to give it. Makes a man miss, and he's finally wrangled down by Armstrong. And the carry there was by number 23, Cameron Haddon, who we've seen a couple times now in the last few minutes. We haven't seen as much of Ely, perhaps trying to get some other guys some reps in this game that is, frankly, a foregone conclusion. But it's always good to get as many guys, as many minutes as possible to build experience, to build depth. So it's now Maddox Wilson in the gun at quarterback for Harpath. Snap. They're going to keep it on the ground, give up the middle. But the Bulldogs close the hole. Not a whole lot going for the Indians. And now some substitutions for the Dogs.
Not much there for Harpath. Third down.
So a quick third down for Harpath. They have about 8 yards to go to move the chains. The ball spotted down at their own 18-yard line. So Wilson yet again in the gun. Flanked by Haddon, 2 receivers left, 2 right. Snap, looks to throw, rolls left, steps up, lets it fly over the middle, has the man wide open on the check down.
There we go.
And he darts down to the 35 for a first down, Harpath. The pass was complete.
Pass to Jensert, complete.
To number 21, Cooper Jensert.
Resulting in a boost. Trucking.
That was some good yardage there by Harpath. Let's see if they can keep going in this fourth quarter as we have six minutes left remaining.
And if you see that kind of vision out of your young quarterback, that's what you love to see. I mean, we look at Maddox Wilson. He's only a freshman, but to have the wherewithal to roll out of the pocket, look down the field, don't try to force anything, but take what the defense gives you. And it's a bad snap. Mishandled. Wilson picks it up, tries to make something happen, but he is wrestled down by a pack of Bulldogs.
Fumble on the exchange.
So a timeout is called by the Harpath Indians. We apologize for the camera there.
And Josh, for Hickman's defense, there is some things they can work on, but for the majority, they have had great defense this game.
I mean, when you hold a team, like Harpath, like your, rival to 6 points, a single touchdown, and really, to go even further, Harpath hasn't had the ball in Hickman County territory all that often. I mean, Hickman County has been a brick wall defensively. They've forced big turnovers when they've needed to, and they've kept the Harpath offense on their heels with that defensive strategy that's been implemented. So, I mean, you have to give all the credit in the world to the Bulldogs.
I don't know. It started in middle school, but I don't know what the high school is. Probably close to the same.
But I know the style of play that Hickman County uses will warm the hearts of a lot of the old school football coaches, a lot of the old school football fans. A lot of run plays, the wing T, even the offensive formation. Of course, a strong defense. Of course, harkens back to the old days of football, and Hickman County has been doing that very, very well. In the gun again, Wilson. Clean snap, drops back the pass. Pressure coming, rolls right, fires over the middle. Pass complete. Cuts back inside. Has daylight. And it's a foot race. Down the sideline into Bulldog territory. Stops. Cuts back inside, and he is wrangled down.
Josh, the Harpath energy is crazy right now with that gain of yardage by Harpath Indians. Let's see if they can get some points on the board with 5 minutes remaining in the fourth.
Well, and as we've said earlier, the Harpath Indians are playing for pride right now. They're playing for confidence. They're playing for next week, essentially. And like I said, I mean, you're seeing your young guys making these plays. I mean, Wilson delivers another great pass after making some Bulldog pass rushers miss and then trusting his athletic receiver to do the rest of the work. And a pass over the middle. Again, nice spin move. Still on his feet and taken down by the Dogs. And number 21, Cooper Jinsert, has been a playmaker on this series.
Another connection to Jinsert. Positive yardage.
So Jinsert as well, only a freshman, just like the newly entered quarterback Maddox Wilson. So if these are the freshmen that Harpath is providing, then they might be pretty good for years to come.
2nd and 3 on Hickman 15.
And if you're Hickman County's defense, of course, you know you have the game in hand, but you never want to play lazy. You never want to play on your heels because that, as we mentioned, it builds those bad habits. So you know Coach Smith is going to want them playing their absolute hardest, even with the game in hand. And the ball given left, and he's met quickly and wrapped up at the 10. A big hit there.
First and goal.
So that was enough to move the chains for the Indians. First and goal for Harpath.
First down, Harpath Indians.
The ball is spotted around the 10-yard line. The clock winds under 3.5 minutes. And immediately, as soon as everyone gets set, a whistle blows, and it's a penalty for 12 men on the field. So some more miscommunication there from Harpath, and it looked like they were all having a promising scoring drive, but that can really hurt a driving offense. Just plays like that are easily avoidable.
Penalty on Harpath.
Timeout. Yeah, timeout Harpath. Third and final timeout.
So Harpath will take their third and final timeout of the half.
Plumbing. Field 8. Plumbing. Timeout. Harpath Indians. The last of the half.
So wondering here if the flag will still stand or if they called the timeout beforehand. The officials did move the ball back a little bit, I believe.
And here, Josh, in this fourth quarter, I mean, Coach Smith has his young guys out, so it's very important for them to get reps as well for the future of the Hickman County Bulldogs.
Absolutely, and that goes back to what we were saying earlier. You know, both sides have their young guys in, and while a lot of people like to turn their brains off and say, okay, well, the game's over, why should I care about what I'm watching? You should care, because guess what? These guys are the future of your team. Here in 2-3 years' times, these will be the guys taking the field to start the game instead of coming in late. So, you know, we know how high Coach Smith was on his young guys. So, you know, him putting those players out there, his younger guys, I don't think he sees it as putting in the JV. I think he sees it as just giving his other guys a refresher. I mean, I think he just has that kind of trust in this team.
But they did move it back. It's on the 15.
So they moved the ball back to the 15-yard line following the penalty. So Harpath now out of timeouts, 1st and 15 for the Indians. Goal to go, of course. Wilson the snap in the gun, drops back, looks to pass, fires to the corner. And it's in and out of the hands, incomplete. He was looking for number 21, Cooper Jinsert, another freshman. And that ball was on the money, but pretty good coverage there. A good hit there to jar that ball loose at the end of the play. Forces a second down and 15. He tries to make some men miss, going to the right. Nothing going. Third down Indians. He might have gotten a couple on the play. A lot of east to west running there, not enough north to south. So Jinsert coming off the field for the Indians. He's been one of the most dynamic playmakers for Harpath on this drive. And the clock winds under 2 minutes, 1:45 to go. Hickman leads 39-6. But Harpath is knocking on the door. Third down and goal coming up from the 15. Snap. Rolls left, flicks it, caught, and a big tackle to keep him from going much further. The ball will be spotted down at around the 6 or 7 yard line. Fourth and goal coming up for Harpath, and you've got to think the offense will stay on the field.
Fourth and goal, 7.
They will officially spot him at the 7 yard line. And indeed, Harpath's offense will stay on the field. The young offense led by Maddox Wilson. Snap, rolls right, flicks it to the end zone. And it's a touchdown. Wilson on the run, completes the pass to the back of the end zone. 6 points for Harpath.
And Josh, I bet that's so good for Harpath coaching staff to see these young guys putting the ball in the end zone for the near future.
So while it doesn't change the outcome of the game any, certainly is a feel-good moment for those young guys on the field leading this offense. So they will go for the 2-point conversion. Wilson still in the gun. Running back to his right, 2 receivers right, 2 left. Snap, looks to pass again. Over the middle, fires, and it's caught. The 2-point conversion is good. So a couple of great passes there by Maddox Wilson. Of course, the touchdown pass to the back of the end zone, and that second 2-point conversion play, an out route to the left side, fired a dart, and great hands by his receiver to secure the 2 points. So with 48.4 seconds to go, Hickman County just needs to secure the football here, take a knee, and enjoy the feeling of being 1-0 on the season.
Please take your trash with you.
And Aiden, you know, as an athlete yourself, how important is it to win that first game of the season?
Oh, it's definitely important, Josh. I mean, just starting off your season on a good note is always great because your morale is not down. Your morale is up, and the win carries to the next game. And so that's very important.
Especially in a sport where you play much fewer games in football than you do in, let's say, basketball or baseball. And every single win matters on every Friday night. And on the flip side of that, though, I want to think about how you guys, the basketball team, started. I mean, you guys were definitely not the same team at the beginning as opposed to the end of the season. You guys definitely had some miscues at the beginning of the season, but you built up and became a force to be reckoned with about midway till the rest of the season. And, you know, the thing about Harpath, sure, they may be hitting a roadblock right now, but it's only game 1. They have plenty of time to move up the ladder, if you will, and to work out all the kinks But if you're Hickman County, now you can begin to snowball. You know, you can take a look and say, you know what? We might be a pretty good team after all. We came out opening night on the road, a hostile Harpath crowd, a packed house here in Kingston Springs, and they put up 39 points. I mean, a phenomenal performance by this offense where Hickman County, we're used to slow pace, we're used to the defense really having to be the focal point of the team, but this year it's hard to pick a focal point when they're both doing so well. So if you're Hickman County, you can only bottle what you're doing here tonight and carry it over to next week, as you said, and only go from there. So Hickman County recovered the onside kick attempt from Harpath. They'll take over at the 46-yard line of their own. And it should be about that time for every offense's favorite formation, that is the victory formation. And indeed, that's what they do. Kraft under center. No, it's Lewis taking the snap. And he takes a knee, and they may have to run just one more play before it's all said and done. So 30 seconds to play. They'll just have to take one more knee. And with the resetting of the play clock, that will allow Hickman County to let the game clock wind down and count down to 0, and they will start off the 2025 football season 1-0. A phenomenal performance by these Bulldogs on both sides of the ball. Aiden, the defense came to play. They stepped up. They shut down this energy early that the Harpath crowd was supplying. The offense came out and set the tone with the first possession of the game, going down, scoring on a big touchdown pass from Andy. You know, we didn't see Andy throw the ball a lot. We saw a lot of run plays, but what's important to note is whenever they did pass it, they absolutely made it count. There was no wasted energy, no wasted motion from this offense. Every play was with a purpose. And I think that really summarizes Coach Smith's coaching style as a whole, and I expect to see a lot more of that. And while they can celebrate tonight, they have to look to next week to play against, I'm sure, a Waverly team who's been prepping, who's been thinking about the game last year. Hickman County beat Waverly, and Waverly had a chance to win. They had a chance to take the lead on a last-minute touchdown. They had it near the goal line. They couldn't punch it in. Hickman County came up big with a stop, and I'm sure that's weighed over Waverly. So they're looking for revenge next week in Game 2 of the season, while Hickman County looks to keep the ball rolling. So, folks, we thank you for tuning in to this presentation of Hickman County Sports here on WNKX Live, whether you were watching from YouTube, Facebook, or listening on the radio. We appreciate your support, and I know these dogs appreciate your support as well. We encourage you to come out and support them next week, as of course it is our home opener against Waverly, but if you can't, we will be right here bringing you live coverage. You won't miss a play here on WNKX. And I've been Josh Copley alongside Aiden Weber. Once again, we congratulate the Bulldogs on their win. Hickman 39, Harpath 14. We'll see you next week. But until then, we must bid you adieu, goodbye, and good night.